Hey, good Friday morning and welcome back to Woodbine Mohawk Park in Campbellville, Ontario for day 3 of our Rookie Showcase, brought to you by Cosa-Tv. A number of sponsors who have helped support this coverage over the last 2 weeks as well, and we'll recognize them throughout the morning. It is a picture-perfect day here at Campbellville. Sun is shining right now, temperature already up over the 20-degree mark, 21 degrees Celsius, little to no wind, and playing on a fast oval for 12 qualifying races this morning for the freshmen. And we're on the Colt side today. Both Trotters and Pacers will face the gate. As mentioned, 12 races in total, 5 on the trot, 7 on the pace this morning. Total of 84 rookies have been entered. 31 of those will be returning from last week's opening session, and 53 newcomers today. So plenty of new faces to look at, as well as getting a good look at some horses coming back for a second try here this morning. Some who maybe were a little disappointing last week will try and improve, and some that'll just simply try and lower their time a little bit here this week in week number 2. Want to welcome everybody tuning in on our various social media platforms this morning, and everybody who does over the last 2 weeks. Everyone who's left us a comment, you are automatically entered to win the long sleeve quarter zip compliments of the London Classic Yearling Sale. So a nice prize that you're eligible to win. Everybody who tunes in and comments on any of our different social media platforms throughout the morning automatically entered for your chance to win. We'll draw for that following today's program, and we'll announce the winner on our social media channels as well. Just a look ahead while we have a moment before we get started here. Greg Blanchard, Mark McKelvey will be joining me on the desk and calling the action again this morning. And it is that time of year. 2-year-olds have been unveiled over the last couple of weeks here en masse, and that'll set things up for the first of our Ontario Sired Stakes events for the 2-year-olds, the different divisions. There's a look at the early schedule, Mark, and we'll start off with gold action right here on July 5th. Colt Pacers, the fillies the next night, and then, of course, Grassroots and Prospect Series divisions.
Yeah, it really heats up, Greg, and I mean, I know we're still just sitting at June 14th, but July 5th will be here before you know it, and those first golds, those first Grassroots, always kind of seeing where everybody is going to stack up, and if you don't appear in the first gold, you go to the Grassroot. Oftentimes you'll see horses step up and clearly prove they need to go to that gold level, or vice versa. I always like the idea of most kind of starting at the gold, and you kind of figure out where everyone lands, but everyone's got their preference, and like you said, we'll be at the start of the OSS season in just a few short weeks.
And maybe hard to get a gauge at this point. There are a few that over the course of last weekend and then yesterday on the trotting side that really sort of turn heads and give that indication that they're at least initially in the season going to be gold level performers. Some today will probably show us that in maybe a second outing where they lower their speed. Last week when they're going miles 58 to 2-minute range, really hard to get a gauge at that point. You're just looking for kind of the body language and how they do it, where today I think some will really stamp themselves.
I really think so, and I know last week we were talking about there being a bit of a headwind. Well, today doesn't look that severe, just a bit of a crosswind at the moment, so the conditions are pretty ideal, and yesterday that was the case. We had a few winners drop as many as 3 seconds, so wouldn't be surprised to see them step it up here this morning in this 12-pack.
And of course, we are just 1 day away from Pepsi North America Cup night here at Woodbine Mohawk Park, Canada's signature race, and a wonderful undercard loaded with Grand Circuit events. And you no doubt will be getting an early look or a preview today at future Grand Circuit performers. So that's always the fun part of a morning like this, as we get a look now at the field on track for the opener. We'll start things off with Trotters this morning, a field of 7 in the first. A moment ago, we got a look at Lexus Legacy. This one has a wonderful family. This one, son of Trixton from Lexus Helios, a fantastic producer she's been. She's the dam of Lexus Cody, one of the fastest trotters in North America. Has got a mark of 150, and then several others who have earned, a couple of 100,000 plus. So, Team Henry, Shannon and Trevor Henry team up with Lexus Legacy, one that I'm sure we'll have a lot of eyes on this morning.
Yeah, and Lexus Cody returns here to Woodbine Mohawk Park tomorrow night to race in the Open Trot. So the younger sibling will try and put on a good show here this morning before the older brother does come out tomorrow night racing on that big card. And I like that we can tie that together. Yesterday we had a couple of fillies on the program that were connected to NA Cup starters tomorrow night, so it's nice when you can make those connections.
There's a look at Capitalist, the number 6 in the field, a Royalty for Life chestnut colt. He'll be easy to pick out on the track. This one, the third full from Da Miracle. First two have both been winners, so this one will be looking to click again. Keelan Green trains. Eddie Green will do the driving in this one. Was bred and is still owned by Glengate Farms. Looks good on the track. Getting a look there, James McDonald aboard the number 1 Century Legion. This one a graduate of the London Classic sale last fall, $25,000 purchase.
And one that we saw last week and rallied nicely to go by several rivals to finish third, beat just a length and a half, trotted the mile in 2:01 and 2 with a final quarter in 29 and 4, and as mentioned, that was going into the win. One of those horses I think I mentioned last week that is eligible to some upcoming stakes at the end of the month here at Woodbine Mohawk Park, so I think if they can get a good line on this one once again, no doubt will probably be in the box next week and be ready to go.
Several homebreds in this group in qualifier number 1. The other sale graduate, also out of the London sale, J-Port Muscle, up $13,000 purchase last fall. This one a son of Muscle Mass from good trotting mare J-Port Sweetheart. So we'll see here if the combination of trainer Katie McNeil and Tyler Borth will team up here. Now they're a partnership on and off the track, and Katie and Tyler have done very well. They've got some trotters that sort of worked their way up through the ranks in London. We got to see a lot of them there working right up to the preferred level. Now we're seeing a few of them coming here and doing well.
Yeah, they've had a really good go this season. Tyler, of course, over the last year, really his stock was rising for a while and then made that transition over here to Woodbine Mohawk Park. And always intrigued when you've got the catch drivers also training and owning a few of their own, gives them a little extra incentive. And I think for Tyler, this Muscle Mass colt would like to get off to a really good start, give him something to use himself going into the Sire Stakes season.
Look at Jody there, Jody Jameson teaming up with Blake McIntosh, Green Manalishi colt named Darkness Cooks, your post-7 starter. This one did qualify last week, turned in a winning effort, 2:01 and 1, and we've seen our first look at the Green Manalishis and over the last 2 weeks, and they've been winning a lot here.
They have 3 winners yesterday. First 3 qualifiers on the trot went to daughters of Green Manalishi, so we'll see if the boys can keep that level there or keep the bar up for what has been a real nice debut from the first crop of Green Manalishi.
Matt Bax, he'll have several starters here this morning. He'll be driving this one that he trains, son of Resolve, named Quill, post 3 starter, second full from Confession Session, the Father Patrick mare. The first full is one called Robin Hood. This one's been Grand Circuit placed and has plenty of talent. So let's see if this one follows in the footsteps, makes a good appearance on track here this morning. Again, if you're just joining us, ideal weather conditions today. Couldn't really ask for any better. The water truck's been out making the rounds, and they'll be one of the busiest people today, certainly with weather like this, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I was making my drive in here this morning, I have to say big kudos to the crew here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. They got the property just looking fantastic heading into the big weekend.
I would agree. It's going to be the place to be here, of course, tomorrow night, Pepsi North America Cup night, but some excitement here this morning. We've got 12 qualifiers, day number 3 of our rookie showcase coverage here on Cosa-Tv. And once again this morning, Mark will do some double duty and be calling the action. Mark?
All right, thank you, Greg, as we are lining up for our first qualifier here on this Friday morning from Woodbine Mohawk Park. A beautiful Friday morning. Doesn't get much better than this. The temperature currently sitting around 20 degrees here in Campbellville and will just continue to climb as we go into the later stages of the morning and the early afternoon. First of 12 is lining up. Here is the field. Number 1 is Century Legion. James McDonald drives this gelded son of Trixton, trainer Amy McDonald. Number 2 is Lexus Legacy, a Trixton colt trained by Shannon Henry with Trevor Henry driving. 3 is Quill, a Resolve colt. Matt Bax trains and drives. Number 4, Captain Suzuki, is a muscle mass colt trained by Greg McNair. Doug McNair drives. 5 is J-Port Muscle Up, a muscle mass colt trained by Katie McNeil with Tyler Borth. 6 is Capitalist. Eddie Green drives for Keelan Green. This is a Royalty for Life colt. And number 7 is Darkness Cooks, a Green Manalishi colt trained by Blake McIntosh. The driver is Jody Jameson. Starting gate swings into the stretch. Off stride was number 7, Darkness Cooks. And they're off and trotting here in qualifier number 1. And moving out from post 3 is Quill, as that one looks to strike the front in the opening stages. Down from the rail is Century Legion to get away in second. On the outside is Captain Suzuki, as that one sits third for the time being. Might move on or try and find a hole here in front of Lexus Legacy. Is taking back will be Capitalist. And then it is J-Port Muscle Up, and back to our early breaker. That is Darkness Cooks. They hit the first turn. It's Quill out in front by a length and a half on Century Legion. The opening panel was 32-4. Off stride on the front went Quill, so inheriting the lead will be Century Legion. So all of a sudden Century Legion is on the front and opens up 5-6 lengths here in the blink of an eye. Back in second is Captain Suzuki. Then we go to Lexus Legacy in third. Fourth up the backstretch is Capitalist, and we're going back to J-Port Muscle Up, followed by Quill, and the trailer was Darkness Cooks as they move towards the midway point. So all alone on the lead is Century Legion. Second outing for this gelded son of Trixton was at the half in 102-4. 30 seconds even in the second split, and Century Legion is on top by double digits. So it's all Century Legion as they go into the far bend. Captain Suzuki in second. Lexus Legacy remains there in third, tracked by Capitalist in fourth. 4 lengths then going back to J-Port Muscle Up. Quill is second from last. Darkness Cooks is the trailer. Century Legion storming right along here to 3/4 in 131-1, 28-2 in the third quarter. It's all Century Legion as they come into the stretch. Century Legion in another area code at this time right now coming to the 8th pole. Captain Suzuki is trying to hold on to second. On the outside is Lexus Legacy in third. Capitalist is then following in fourth, but Century Legion, the son of Trixton, no doubt about it, winner here in the opener. Second outing will be a winning one for Century Legion, stopping the clock in 2 minutes and 3/5. Finishing back in second, that was Captain Suzuki, followed then by Lexus Legacy, and Capitalist was fourth.
Big effort this morning from Century Legion, who qualified a week ago. Rallied from way out of it early on to be third in that start. Today inherited the lead at the quarter with a breaker in front of him, and from there just widened his advantage the rest of the way. That's an eye-catching final half mark of 57-4, 28-2 in the third quarter, and did it fairly easily. He's a big strapping son of Trixton who covers the ground easily and makes a bit of a statement here, I would say, this morning.
Yeah, he was on a mission there around the far turn as he trotted that piece in 28-2 in the third split. You'd be intrigued to see how things might have played out if Quill doesn't make a break on the lead. I would have to think, just the way this one looked here today, I think James probably would have moved him there after the opening quarter, but nonetheless, he inherited the lead and then goes on to the big victory here to kick things off.
This one bred by Century Spring Farms of Gorey, Ontario, owned by the stable Century Legion Group of Guelph, Ontario. Amy McDonald training and James McDonald driving this morning. 2 qualifiers, the second, an impressive winning effort here this morning. 1 down, 11 to go. We'll take our first break and be back with more here on Cosa-Tv next.
The London Classic Yearling Sale, Canada's premier standardbred auction, returns October 15th and 16th to the Western Fair District Agriplex. Recent London sales standouts include O'Brien Award winners and millionaire performers, Logan Park, Fashion Frenzy, and Stockade Sealster. Leading North American consigners and yearlings by the sport's top sires, all under one roof in a world-class facility. Find your next champion at the London Classic Yearling Sale. Find out more by visiting londonclassic.ca.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Tara Hill Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to tarahills.com.
Welcome back. A look inside the paddock here at Woodbine Mohawk Park, where we are nicely underway here for day number 3 of the Rookie Showcase. Here on Cosa-Tv, again, a big thank you to all of our fantastic industry sponsors for making these shows possible today. Welcoming everybody watching from all over North America, worldwide, in fact, on our various platforms, including the Mohawk Park YouTube channel, and those tuning in through the Standardbred Canada website as well. 2-year-old colts and geldings in the spotlight this morning, trotters and pacers, and we will switch over to the pace here for qualifier number 2. Field of 6 getting set to go postward in this one, and again, some high-profile individuals when you look at their pedigree and what might be for them.
Yes, and I mean, I look at that first horse on your screen. That's number 1, Mighty Duke, who we saw last week in a qualifier here last Saturday morning. And this is a son of Poppy Rob Hanover, so there's obviously lots of intrigue as this is his first crop now on the racetrack. And so far for Poppy Rob Hanover, he's got a winner in 154-2 south of the border down at Pocono. And just looking and adding it up real quick here, he's got about 11 winners overall from his first crop here over the first few weeks of the baby races. So this is going to be the second go for Mighty Duke, who at the yearling sales last year commanded a price of $90,000 at the Harrisburg sale. Races for Team by Arjan. There is a good look at the second timer here this morning, Poppy Rob Hanover's son, Mighty Duke.
Quickly want to say hi to some of the viewers tuning in today on the Facebook feed. Laurie McLean's watching from Petrolia, Ontario. Jim Langridge, he was cheering for Century Legion, so he'll be happy with what he saw, no doubt. J.D. Farnell, friend of the show. Wade Mason tuning in from Charlottetown, PEI as well. Great to have everybody on board here this morning. Number 2 in the field is Parlay King. This one a Better's Delight colt. And this one bought back by the Connections last fall. And the first foal from Boudica, a mare that we know well on this circuit. She earned more than $500,000, a real hard hitter. And there's a good look at this one on track. At this point, not quite as big as her. She was a big mare, if I remember correctly, and this guy a little more compact, but be fun to watch and see what he's all about.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see this one here. You mentioned the first foal out of that OSS Super Final winning mare in Boadicea, and if the son is anything like the mom, you know, he'll be able to take some air and can really grind it out. She was tough as nails. As I mentioned, a Super Final winner at age 3, and meant a lot to her connection, so I'm sure they're excited to see what her first foal will bring to the table, and it's a son of Better's Delight here as we've continued to talk about his longevity. And yesterday when Bill O'Donnell was with me on the desk, he talked about the fact it might be the greatest stallion ever. You could probably make that case in the conversation.
Yeah, if not the best, he's right in that conversation, as you mentioned, there's no question. And it's his longevity that at this point really amazes us. 5th and 5 is one of the other Better's Delights in the field, and Time Passer, who has post 6. And this is one that did qualify a week ago and was a winner from off the pace for Dave Maneri, the trainer, and James McDonald. So likely just be looking to lower that time substantially here today. It'll be interesting to see if that's good enough to in fact go out and win. Stay Hungry colt number 4, Takeout Hanover from the Blake McIntosh barn. This one out of the great producing mare Tempest Blue Chip. She has done nothing but produce not only racehorses but very good ones. 7 $100,000 plus winners to her credit. From 14 foals, 12 of them have made it to the races, and as mentioned, the production record is impeccable.
It is, and I mean, you talk about those 12 making it to the races, 11 winners. This one will look to follow in those footsteps and become the next winner for the Dam Tempest Blue Chip, who herself was a 5-time winner on the track before transitioning into her broodmare career. So this is one we get to see for a second time. Was a winner And it's kind of fun when you can match up a couple of winners from last week. You mentioned about Time Passer, also victorious. So now these two kind of go head-to-head. There was almost 3 seconds different in what they went last week. But again, we're not going to read too much into that. Time Passer was a good closer and got up to reach, while Takeout Hanover did it on the front and still kicked home strongly in what was a real good last quarter last Saturday morning of 27-3.
We're trying to get a look now. I can see 5 horses out there, and that's the thing. We as we mentioned before, we don't get the changes, so we kind of have to, on the fly, take a look around, see if there is, in fact, a driver change or if a horse maybe is scratched. So I'm seeing 5. I'm looking for that 6th one. Perhaps I'm missing the horse.
I'll tell you yesterday, Greg, we talked, I had Tony Elliott to my side, and we talked at length about a horse who never even made it out onto the track. So that's just how it goes. We don't have the changes like we do pre-race at nighttime, but that's okay.
And the good news is I see 6 out there now.
There you go.
There we go. I was scrambling because my old eyesight's not quite what it used to be, Mark, believe it or not.
Hope you had the shades on yesterday at the beach.
Hey now. I heard I took a lot of ribbing yesterday. Now people that know me, know I love a good beach day. I hate to waste a good opportunity to hit the beach, and yesterday was one of those days, but we had work meetings, and I would have been here. There's no question.
I know you would have been. This would
But
have
you
trumped
held
the
the
beach
fort.
day for sure if you could have.
Yeah, for sure. You held the fort. Busy week for you, by the way. How's the voice holding up? You're doing double duty doing this. You've been doing you were the draw master the other night. Of course, you're busy with your communications role here, and this is one of the most hectic weeks I know for you guys.
It is, but for some reason, it doesn't kind of always feel that way. I mean, maybe it does feel like a long week, but it's a lot of fun, right? It doesn't get much better than this. I think when you know you're building up to a card like the one we are tomorrow night, it's going to be a lot of fun. So there's just a lot of anticipation. Plus, here in the morning, it doesn't get any better than this, seeing the rookies. I know we're big fans this time of the year. That's why we're here right now. And the fact that the conditions are cooperating the way they are, that's just another check mark on what's going to be a great week.
Yeah, what a card that's going to be tomorrow night. Gives us a quick chance to mention we'll have some extensive coverage tomorrow evening as part of Woodbine Entertainment Presents. It'll be an online show format similar to what we see here on Cosa-Tv tomorrow night, covering both the Roses Are Red, where So Much More, Canada's Queen of Racing, will take on an outstanding field. And, of course, the Pepsi NA Cup will be part of that coverage tomorrow evening as well.
Yeah, we'll be on around 10 p.m. on all the social platforms, on YouTube, Facebook, all through the Woodbine channels. Looking forward to it. Just a 1-hour show for that one to highlight those two feature events, including the big dance, the Pepsi North America Cup. So definitely tune in for a little bit of enhanced coverage on what's going to be an exciting night of racing. And for yourself, Greg, do you remember the first North America Cup that you attended?
That would have been, let's see, I think going back to the Bettor's Delight days, actually. That would have been my first when I just started at Woodbine Entertainment. So not a bad way to start off, right? And so many memorable ones after that. I remember Rock and Roll Hanover was another one that sticks out for me back when the race was raced at Woodbine. And since then, of course, Sun Beach Somewhere, the crowd here that year, and many great ones since. So, never seems to disappoint, right? And it's really, truly become not only Ontario, but Canada's signature race.
I'm with you 100% on that one. I think the first one I remember going to when I was a little younger for sure was Yankee Cruiser. I think it's 2003. That's a memorable one that sticks out, especially the great call by announcer Frank Salive. And looking at the numbers this week, it's amazing to think the North America Cup was at Greenwood, I think, for 10 years, and then it was about 10 years at Woodbine. We're already up on now 17 here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
Yeah, I remember as a kid watching, I had to get the old VHS tapes and watch the first one, Legal Notice, winning it back at Greenwood at that time. And then it just kind of went from there. And I think at the time, I'm sure they were hoping it was going to become what it has, but it's probably even exceeded expectations of those who developed the race back in the day.
Absolutely, and it's one that we look forward to each year, and it is kind of the kickoff to the stakes season here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. I mean, that stretch from mid-August right through September is as good as it gets with Grand Circuit action, but this is one of the nights that you just don't want to miss, and anticipating what should be a really strong crowd tomorrow night, and what I think is one of the most competitive cups we've seen in quite some time.
I would agree. I said that last year, and so I'm happy to say that it looks like it's the same again this year. And incredible local connections this year as well. I think a lot of great storylines, especially with the local contingent, which makes it just that much more compelling, I think. Field of 6, it looks like they're assembled now in the backstretch, and just a little bit of a delay here with the start of qualifier number 2 this morning. Again, want to welcome everybody tuning in today, and don't forget to leave a comment. You'll be automatically entered for a chance to win that quarter zip from the London Classic yearling sale. And let us know where you're tuning in from this morning as well. I know we get viewership from all over North America, Mark, and that's the beauty of it, as we want to thank some of our sponsors here as well. You've got, again, ownership from all over. Most of the horses we're seeing today are eligible to the lucrative Ontario Sire Stakes program, which does attract owners from not only across Canada, but all over North America.
It does, and again, that season's going to kick off, as we saw a little bit earlier, right at the start of July, and then pretty much there's something going on almost every week, especially when you mix in on the pacing side a race like the Battle of Waterloo at the end of July, the Elims, and then on the Civic Holiday Monday, that final. So there's something for these horses pretty much every week once we hit July, just after Canada Day.
The 6 pacers have turned in, and the starting gate's now underway for the second of 12 qualifiers this morning, as you're watching live coverage here on Cosa-Tv of the Rookie Showcase. Mark has your description of qualifier number 2.
2-year-old pacing colts and geldings for our second of 12 on this Friday morning. Number 1 is Mighty Duke. This is a gelded son of Poppy Rob Hanover, trained by Ben Bayarjan. The driver is Mario Bayarjan. Number 2 is Parlay King, a Better's Delight colt, trained by Greg McNair. Doug McNair is in the bike. Number 3 is 5th and 5, Better's Delight colt, trained by Carl Jameson with Jody Jameson driving. Number 4 is Takeout Hanover. This is a Stay Hungry colt, trained by Blake McIntosh, Sylvan Filion to drive. Number 5 is Diesel Dally, a Dally colt. Trevor Henry trains and drives. And 6 is Time Passer, a Better's Delight colt, trained by Dave Maneri. James McDonald is in between the wheels. That's your field of 6 for qualifier number 2. Our first look at the pacers on this Friday morning as the gate makes its way around the far turn. Starting gate into the stretch, picking up speed, and here they come. And they're off and pacing from the center. That's going to be Takeout Hanover pushing forward. Time Passer on the outside. Coming away casually between horses is 5th and 5. Down at the rail is Mighty Duke. Getting by arrival will be Diesel Dally, so the early trailer will be Parlay King. They'll go into the first turn, and Takeout Hanover went out to the top. 5th and 5 is in second, as Time Passer is going to settle into the 3-hole in front of Mighty Duke in 4th. Back then to Diesel Dally, and Parlay King can see them all. The opening quarter was 30 and 3. So the pacers will move into the backstretch. Off stride at the back went number 2, Parlay King. A quick break and will reset back onto the pace. So the other 5 are about separated by about 7 or 8 lengths, as our leader up the backstretch is the Stay Hungry colt. This is Takeout Hanover. Following closely in second is 5th and 5. Right there, third is Time Passer. On that one's back, 4th is Mighty Duke. Then it's 2 lengths to Diesel Dally, and Parlay King will look to catch on up about 6 lengths from the nearest rival, as the half was hit in 101. Heading on to the far turn and cutting things out once again. This is Takeout Hanover and Sylvan Filion. Nice trip in second for 5th and 5. Tightening back up in third is Time Passer. 3 lengths then going back to Mighty Duke in 4th. About that same margin then to Diesel Dally, and the trailer is Parlay King. They're halfway around the far turn. Takeout Hanover on the front. 5th and 5 trying to stay right behind that one, as Time Passer stays there in in third. 3 quarters of 130-1. That was 29-1 in the third quarter. They'll straighten out for home, and it's Takeout Hanover who's trying to go the distance. 5th and 5 stays on the leader's back for the time being, as Time Passer is now going to angle out, and here comes Time Passer on the outside coming up after the leader. Takeout Hanover who will look to fend that one off. Takeout Hanover now splitting on between horses. It's 5th and 5, so Takeout Hanover 5th and 5 shoots right through and takes it at the line. Takeout Hanover was second. Time Passer was third. Back to Mighty Duke in fourth. 158-1.
Good finish there in qualifier number 2. They were 3 across, and coming to the end, 5th and 5 will split rivals with Jody Jamieson driving for Father Carl. This son of Better's Delight, who made a miscue last time out, was on the lead and actually jumped it off, so no mistakes today. And the connections, no doubt, will be encouraged with that one. 58-1 the win time, 57-1 the final half, 28-second final quarter speed to haul down the tempo setter Takeout Hanover, with Time Passer finishing lapped on third. So qualifier number 2 going to 5th and 5 for Double J, 158-1. Time for another break. Back with more Trotters next.
Sealster, a name synonymous with quality. From their picturesque farm in Lucan, Ontario, Sealster Farms has been producing champions for decades. Stars like $650,000 winner Poseidon Sealster, millionaire mares Karma and Kendall Sealster, and 2-time O'Brien Award-winning Stockade Sealster. Sealster is also the home of many of Canada's top stallions, like Sunshine Beach, All Bets Off, and world champion superstar Bulldog Hanover, the sport's all-time fastest performer. Find your next champion at Sealster Farms. For more information, visit sealsterfarms.com.
Back inside the hub of activity here, the paddock, the beautiful paddock at Woodbine Mohawk Park, where we've seen a couple of impressive winners so far this morning. And as we expected, the times are a little bit quicker than what we saw last week, especially some of these coming back for a second go-round today. That was the case with 5th and 5 in qualifier number 2, as we switch gears and are back on the trot here for qualifier number 3. Good-looking group of 7 will face the starting gate this time around, and some other high-profile pedigree potential here, I would say, including your number 7 horse, Houston Sealster. This one that looks like a Chippendale colt by Hollywood Beauty, another one that's just got that amazing production record. It starts with Hemi Sealster, who earned well over $800,000, and then several others who have been stakes placed and made a lot of money. Henderson Sealster, $450,000, and one of the newer offspring of that one on the racetrack now, Hershey Sealster, $75,000 and counting for that Nick Gallucci trainee. So this one, you never know, time will tell, but just a $30,000 purchase price last fall could end up being a bargain.
Could be exactly that, and when you have that production record that the broodmare, the Dam Hollywood Beauty has, obviously you like your chances of maybe having a winner here. Already in the double digits, she's produced 10 winners. Hemi Sealster, if we want to kind of weave all of our storylines this weekend in together, of course, one of his biggest victories was an upset win in the Good Time Stakes as a 3-year-old when Steve Byron was in the sulky for trainer John Bax. So Hemi Sealster certainly had some success at this track, and now a younger brother in Houston Sealster is going to make his debut, as you can see that one stepping out through for Team Cullen.
Team Cullen, they've had some winners already in the baby races as well. One of certainly the most successful stables in Ontario in the last number of years. And Houston Sealster will get unveiled here this morning. He'll start from post number 7 in here. Again, a beautiful afternoon. It's great to see such a big crowd here on site, Mark, taking in the action. And, a lot of people are like us. They're just excited to see some of these new faces, to see what is in store this year, especially on the Ontario Sire Stakes trail when you think local.
Yes, exactly that. And we had a little bit of, you don't want to call it an appetizer last weekend when there was 14 qualifiers last Saturday, but 10 yesterday, 12 today. You knew things were going to pick up this weekend, and there's a ton of babies that were ready to make their debuts this weekend as well. And I talked about it yesterday, the idea of the ones that already have that experience. Do they have a little bit of a leg up? I'm not so sure that is the case. They really come to the track these days just ready to go.
Yeah, that's true. It is amazing, the speed they have to go these days right off the bat. We shake our head at it from year to year. Already we've seen qualifiers south of the border in the 54 range. We haven't quite seen that speed here yet, but it won't be long before we do, probably in the next week or so. Might even see something later today that really turns our head. Want to again thank our viewers and recognize some of those tuning in today. We've got Dale McNeil enjoying the coverage on our Facebook feed. Arabella Cantor watching in from London, Ontario as well. Spice Tricks, another one maybe to keep an eye on here. Post 5 starter from the back stable. They certainly have an abundance of stakes talent in their barn from year to year, and this one is another son of Trixton, who already has a winning credit from back in race number 1 today. Matt will do the driving on this one. Here's one returning, Mark, and he looked good last week, not only in his appearance. He's an eye catcher from that regard, but his effort was very good as well. The Walner Colt, Go Ahead, Make My Day.
You last week finished second, just beat ahead in 2 minutes and 2/5, and I thought battled in there after doing the road work through fractions of 30 and 4, 101 and 131. So final corner was 29 and 2, a $17,000 graduate of the Lexington sale, and should come back with a good return effort. We talk about what the times were last week. I think on the trot to see a 2 minute and 2/5 mile was pretty good last Saturday.
Katie McNeil and Tyler Borth send out another starter here, Northern Andrew, a muscle mass colt. And this one purchased for just $17,000 last fall in London. And this one is out of Bluster. And that makes the Grand Am to this one the $1 million winner Blur. So some pedigree when you look a little deeper down the page on Northern Andrew, who looks good on the track here as well, and one of several from Muscle Mass that we're going to see in action here this morning. Trotters are now moving in and lining up, and it looks like we have all 7 scheduled starters getting ready to go here for qualifier number 3. Mark?
Okay, qualifier 3 on this Friday morning. Set to go. We return to the trot. Field of 7. Number 1 is Chicago Hall, a gelded son of Muscle Mass, trained by Amy McDonald. The driver is James McDonald. Number 2 is Northern Andrew, Tyler Borth for Katie McNeil. This is a Muscle Mass colt. 3 is T-Trix, a Trixton colt, trained by Chad Hill with Tyler Jones driving. 4 is Witty Wheels, a wheelin' and dealin' colt. Trevor Henry trains and drives. Number 5 is Spice Tricks, Trixton colt. Trainer driver is Matt Bax. 6 in the field is going to be Go Ahead, Make My Day, a Walner colt trained by Blake McIntosh with Sylvan Filion. And number 7 is Houston Sealster. It looks like a Chippendale colt. Jody Cullen trains. Travis Cullen is at the lines. All right, that's your field of 7 for our 3rd qualifier. We go back over to the trot here for the 3rd of 12. Starting gate making its way to the top of the stretch. A field of 7 is all lined up, set to go for the 3rd. And they're off and trotting. Go Ahead, Make My Day is going to follow that center path out of there. Coming between horses is T-Trix out from post 3 as that one steps forward. Tucking in behind will be Witty Wheels to get away in 3rd. From the inside, Chicago Hall gets away in 4th as Northern Andrew will go behind that one 5th. Then at that rival's wheel is Houston Sealster, and our trailer is Spice Tricks. They're hitting the first turn. Sylvan Filion lets Go Ahead, Make My Day trot out to the lead. It's a lead lead of about 3 lengths as they come to the opening panel. It was trotted in 31 and 4. 31 and 4 is our opening split as they'll come out of the first turn, and it is the Wallner Colt, Go Ahead, Make My Day, clear by about 3 lengths. Back in second is Teatrix. Then it is Witty Wheels in third. That one is followed closely by Chicago Hall in fourth. Northern Andrew is then racing in fifth. Looking to get a little closer to that one is Houston Sealster, and rounding things out is Spice Tricks. Nothing changes here in the second quarter. Go Ahead, Make My Day does the road work once again this week and is up by the half in 102 and 1. So the Trotters are heading towards the far turn. It continues to be Go Ahead, Make My Day and Sylvan Filion, maybe taking it up a notch right now. Back in second has been Teatrix throughout. 2 lengths then going back to Witty Wheels in third, followed along in fourth by Chicago Hall. 5 or 6 lengths then to Northern Andrew, another 5 lengths back to Houston Sealster, and Spice Tricks rounds things out. Still a comfortable lead here for Go Ahead and Make My Day, who will try and go the distance off 3/4 of 131 and 4, so did take it up there. 29 and 3 in the third quarter. They come into the stretch. Go Ahead and Make My Day's got the jump on them. A few of them will try and track that one down, but they're not getting any closer just yet as they come to the 8th pole. Teatrix is in second. On the outside is Witty Wheels in third, and Chicago Hall is still there in fourth. Go Ahead, Make My Day is going to have a successful qualifier here this morning as the Wallner Colt's going to win it by about 5. Second was Teatrix, then finishing third was Witty Wheels, and Chicago Hall was fourth. 2 minutes and 2/5 for Go Ahead, Make My Day.
Go Ahead, Make My Day out for a second qualifier. Just missed a week ago. Made just a slight step turning into the home stretch last week and ultimately lost by only a neck. Today was flawless and kicked home with authority, nice and strong on the end, 28 and 3 under no urging. Back half 58 and 1. A lot to like about this fellow. He's got the cool name, looks great on the racetrack. He's got the pedigree, and it appears he's got the talent to match. So an intriguing youngster getting set to make his pari-mutuel debut soon. His name, Go Ahead, Make My Day, a winner in qualifier number 3. Another quick break. We'll be back on the pace when we return.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU covers the sport from all angles with news, features, photography, opinion, and analysis of racing. Also, HRU covers breeding and sales, as well as industry stories you need to know. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. And the best news is that it's free to subscribe. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com and see what everyone is talking about.
Winback Farm of Canada is home to 9 exceptional stallions, including Beach Glass, the last great son of legendary sire of sires, Some Beach Somewhere. Also new in 2024, Lawless Shadow, an O'Brien Award winner for 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings. Double millionaire betting line, sire of 5 winners of over $400,000. Merrick Wicked, the richest pacing stallion in harness racing history and Hall of Fame inductee. Trixton, sire of 6 who have earned over $500,000, including O'Brien Award winner Evident Beauty. Also standing Archangel, Better Than Cheddar, Better's Delight, and My MVP. For more information, winbackfarm.com.
Welcome back to Cosa-Tv's coverage of the Rookie Showcase. Getting set for qualifier number 4 next. There's a look at them in their stalls in the paddock. 6 pacers will square off in this one, including Set Shot, one of the 6-figure yearlings that we're going to get a look at here this morning. This guy, $280,000 purchase out of Lexington. Into the barn of Ian Moore, the second foal from Pristine Beauty, the Art Major mare, and just one of an incredible broodmare band, I should say, from James Averitt of Lebanon. Kentucky. It's just incredible, and we're going to see that presence felt tomorrow night here.
Yeah, we will, between two starters in the Pepsi North America Cup that he bred, Captain's Quarters, who is the morning line choice, and Total Stranger, who is a full brother to Tall Dark Stranger, who won the Cup back in 2020. Pristine Beauty is out of Precious Beauty, so Precious Beauty, the second dam of the colt we're going to see here, and Precious Beauty, of course, she, to me, that's a mare that, there you go, Hall of Fame worthy, I think, when you talk about what she's done as a brood mare. She's the dam of Cup winner Sports Writer, and then Precocious Beauty, who had a great career on the track, who then went on to produce, as I mentioned, Tall Dark Stranger and Total Stranger, and Prescient Beauty, who she's the dam of Captain's Quarters, and she made almost $500,000 in her racing career. So it is as strong as we've seen in quite some time, and Jim Averett is just absolutely loaded right now and has to be a very, very proud breeder, that's for sure.
They are the gifts that keep on giving. We'll put it that way. Team Jameson, they've clicked already this morning. There's Carl and Jody teaming up here with THKC Crunch. This will be the second trip behind the gate for this guy. Third last week, but he charged home in 27 seconds. One of the fastest, if not the fastest, last quarter of last weekend's session. And the last one here, Sabel Wilson, number 6, and another one out of a great family here. This is a Better Than Cheddar colt, and the mare Performing Art has already produced $265,000 winner Sabel Delightful. And Sabel Lila, a horse that I've seen a lot of this season in London. State Treasurer last, that has won 8 of her 13 trips postward so far, took a mark of 56-1. Over the course of the winter season in London. That's a big mile and a world of talent there. So Sabel Wilson, perhaps some big shoes to fill for this one, post 6 today.
Yeah, and we'll keep an eye on that one. Better Than Cheddars, you can't sleep on them. They continue to show up as he gets a little bit older as a stallion, still keeps adding to his numbers and having plenty of winners.
Yeah, so many fantastic stallions in the province when you go through them, and we kind of take it for granted. Their production record impeccable. I think Better Than Cheddar, one of the stalwarts, Sports Writer, the longtime veteran of the OSS program, Big Jim, Sunshine Beach, others that certainly come to mind immediately, but exciting to see those new faces, right? Green Manalishi made a splash last year, his first crop selling at the fall sales. They were popular there, and they've looked very good so far. On the pacing side, Cattle Wash, newer to Ontario, and it'll be a similar scenario this fall. He's going to have a number of yearlings, of course, here in our sale in London. We've seen a few of his offspring south of the border, a couple here, and they've looked good so far as well. So exciting times, certainly, for the Ontario program. Going to get a quick look before the field goes to the gate here. Some of those blue chip prospects, if you want to call them that, the 6-figure yearlings that will be competing here this morning. And the richest of them is Set Shot, the horse we're going to see here, $280,000. 4 of the 6 on screen there are conditioned by Doc Moore. So he's unveiling his armada here today. We're going to see the Hitman Hart in action. This one, of course, the sibling to Logan Park, Willie's home run. And this one is the son of Green Manalishi as well. And Peloton Sealster, one of the toppers from last fall in London, one of the higher-priced yearlings there. $105,000 for this Shadow Play colt, who we'll see later on this afternoon. So the first of the 6-figure gang that we're going to see here, Set Shot. This one is a son of Better's Delight from, again, that good family on the mare's side here. Sylvain Filion gets the driving assignment this morning for Doc Moore. The KC Crunch, another one that had that eye-catching rally last week in the final quarter. Let's see what he has in store this morning as the noses are now headed toward the starting gate for qualifier number 4. Again, we want to welcome everybody tuning in today to our special coverage on Cosa-Tv. It is the Rookie Showcase. Pacers for qualifier number 4, Mark.
Thank you, Greg, as the horses take their positions behind the starting gate. As the gate crawls its way up the backstretch and the rookies get a little bit of experience in behind the wings. We've got a field of 6 to go forward here, 2 of them returnees from last weekend, the other 4 all making their debut. We start at the rail with number 1, Lions Frankie J, a Lions Somewhere colt trained by Greg McNair. The driver is Doug McNair. Number 2 is Willie B, Better's Delight colt trained by Anthony Beaton. The driver is James McDonald. Number 3 is Romantic Lou, a gelded son of Sweet Lou, trained by Blake McIntosh. The driver will be Tyler Borth. Number 4 is THKC Crunch, a Captain Crunch colt trained by Carl Jameson. Jody Jameson drives. Number 5 is Set Shot, Better's Delight colt trained by Dr. Ian Moore. The driver is Sylvan Filion. And number 6 is Sobel Wilson. This is a Better Than Cheddar colt trained by Otis Hall. Bob McClure is in the bike. A field of 6 making their way around the far turn as they're all lined up. Pacers are getting set to go for our 4th qualifier. Gate into the stretch as the Pacers are picking up speed, and here they come. And they're off and pacing, and firing out of there will be Set Shot as that one shoots ahead. Romantic Lou, and down the center is THKC Crunch. They're the top 3 in the opening stages as Set Shot sweeps out to the early lead. THKC Crunch will land in second in front of Romantic Lou in third. Lions Frankie J gets away in fourth as Willie B will duck in behind second from last. And then our trailers Sobel Wilson. They head into the first turn, and Set Shot was ready to go. So Set Shot by a length and a half on THKC Crunch. The opening quarter was 30-2. So it's the Better's Delight colt, Set Shot, who will swing him into the backstretch, followed by the Captain Crunch colt, THKC Crunch, who races in second. Third up the backside is the gelded son of Sweet Lou. That's Romantic Lou, going back to the Lions Somewhere colt, Lions Frankie J, who races in fourth. That one's followed closely by another Better's Delight colt in Willie B. And then at the back is the Better Than Cheddar colt, Sobel Wilson. They tighten up here a little bit, does this 6-pack of rookie Pacers as they near the midway point, and it continues to be Set Shot who shows the way. Off a 30-2 opener, the half was hit in 101-4. So they back things down 31-2 in the second quarter, and you can see that Filion said go as they pick things up now. Set Shot on the far turn leading it. THKC Crunch also takes it up a notch to stick right there with the leader. A few lengths going back to Romantic Lou in third, 4 or so lengths back to Lions Frankie J in fourth, another 2 to Willie B, and 2 more lengths to Sobel Wilson. It's Set Shot going down to 3/4, leading it by nearly 2. Set Shot races by that marker in 1:31 flat, and they'll come off the turn and into the stretch after a 29-1 third quarter. Here is Set Shot leading it. THKC Crunch, who rallied well last week, sticks right in behind, has been following second throughout. Then in third is Romantic Lou, and about 4 lengths back to the others. Into the final 1/8 of the mile, it's still Set Shot with that lead. THKC Crunch staying in behind, and it's going to be Set Shot with a nice-looking debut to take it. THKC Crunch finishes in second. Romantic Lou was third. Lions Frankie J was fourth. 158-3, 27-3 home for Set Shot.
Big final quarter, big final half speed there for Set Shot, who was on cruise control coming to the finish here, good and strong, and he was ready to go at first asking. The Better's Delight, regally bred youngster, $200,000 Lexington sale purchase owned by Mac and Carol Nickel of nearby Burlington. Clicking here with Sylvan Filion in the driver's seat, finishing right on the helmet in second was a THKC Crunch. Romantic Lou a little bit further back, but still a solid effort for that guy to finish third against a couple of real eye-catching colts, I think, in the 1-2 spot in qualifier number 4. Getting close to the midway point here this morning. Another commercial break, and we'll be on the trot when Cosa-Tv returns.
Love horse racing? HPIBet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
Well, we welcome you back live to Woodbine Mohawk Park. We're set up right in the paddock locations. Fantastic spot here. Lots of folks on site this morning taking in the action, and of course we get a good look at the horses as they come in and out from behind us here. So it's wonderful to have you joining us here today. We just found out we are going to take a couple of breaks today. A couple of little breaks, give the track crew time to work on things between the next 4 races here. So it gives Mark and I a chance to talk about what we've seen so far. We knew we'd see a little bit more speed today, and you're still looking at the body language. And when it comes to that, I like what I've seen especially from our winning efforts this morning.
Yeah, the winners have looked real impressive, as you would expect, but I think even those in runner-up efforts have been almost as good, including the one we just saw in THKC Crunch, who Jody Jamieson never tipped that one off the back of set shot as they were kicking home well in hand in 27-3. And the one thing I like about the qualifiers is usually we'll give you a chance to see them on what they call the run out as they go around the turn and into the backstretch, and you can see the body language, see how they're doing it. And I thought THKC Crunch just looked real fantastic after that mile and went another almost probably 3/8 of a mile before pulling up. So that's one I'm going to keep an eye on. And even back in the other pace, back in race number 2, you had a 3 across finish. And I know 5th and 5 kind of got to trip out and then shoots through in the final 16th. But the 3 of them at the wire there, including the winner, they all looked real strong.
Yeah. Let's talk about tomorrow night while we have a few minutes. Of course, a huge night, biggest of the season here at Woodbine Mohawk Park, Pepsi NA Cup, and then that incredible undercard to go with it. What can people expect tomorrow night? People that are on site, it's always a great event. Aside from that, what will be happening tomorrow evening?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just racing, right? I call it the biggest party of the year here at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and I know the doors are going to open at 4 p.m. There's a pre-race concert with country singer Robin Ottolini at 5 o'clock, so that all kind of leads up. But it's your typical festival feel, right? We got beer gardens, barbecues, food trucks, music in between races, so it's a lot more than just racing on a night like to this. Of course, the racing will be the center stage and will be the spotlight, especially when we get to the big dance around 10:40 p.m., the North America Cup. But 13 races, it's a stacked card, and it's, you know, I go back to a few years ago, and I know it's more than a few years ago, but I remember when the Breeders' Crown moved all the stakes into one night. And when you have so many great races like that, at the end of the night, you almost kind of forget, or a couple of great performances get a little overshadowed. Right. Think about how deep this card is tomorrow night when, outside of the North America Cup, you've got the Canadian Horse of the Year in Sylvia Hanover on the card. You've got one of the best trotting mares we've seen in the last couple of years in MM's Dream. You look at the Fan Hanover, how deep that race is between Geocentric, who actually got beat last week, but also a Breeders' Crown winner, and My Girl EJ, not to mention She's a Great Lady winner. Yeah. It's a Love Thing. So, I mean, this is as deep as a card as you're going to see here this summer at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and it's just going to be an absolute blast.
Yeah, the Fan Hanover Roses Are Red, I think every bit as intriguing this year as the NA Cup. So, you know, they'll take a little bit of a back seat, of course, when you talk about the purse and the stature of the race, but not much tomorrow night, that is for sure. It's going to be incredible. And the weather forecast looks picture perfect as well. Fingers crossed. So, yeah, come on out and enjoy the festivities tomorrow night. Free event to attend as well. So, yeah, it's really a must-attend event if you can tomorrow night. Just in case you can't, though, we've got you covered in a variety of ways. Of course, the folks on the simulcast show will take you through everything as well, and then we're going to be back with live coverage tomorrow night as well, covering both the Roses Are Red and the NA Cup.
Yeah, those two races will be back-to-back on the card, races 10 and 11, so we'll be up on the air at 10 p.m., and you can find that stream at the Woodbine Mohawk Park website, and there are some of the details, whether you want to watch on YouTube or Facebook. We've got you covered. It's one of the best nights of the year, Greg. I know we're looking forward to it. I believe our broadcast location will be right down in the winner's circle, so right in the thick of things, and what should be a packed crowd and some great energy here on site come tomorrow night.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll give Mark a chance to the rest of the voice here as we get set for the second part of today's qualifying day number 3. It's the Rookie Showcase live from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Horses and drivers stepping out of the paddock. Trotters for qualifier number 5 as we resume our live coverage this morning from Woodbine Mohawk Park. And in here, we're going to see a sibling to our Liza, a filly that's really come back strong this year. 3 for 3 to start the season. Man Force is his name. And again, a sibling to our Liza. We're going to see a sibling later in the day, sibling to Willie's Home Run. So kind of interesting. Those two have kind of become rivals on the racetrack, with our Liza getting the upper hand the last couple of times. And, we may see a potential rivalry between these two. Who knows this season? But we're going to get a look, first of all, at Man Force. This one, a son of Muscle Mass. He'll occupy post number 3 this morning. Susie Kerwood, the trainer, and it's Jody Jameson driving.
And if you look ahead to Monday night, that's when the next OSS Gold event is for those 3-year-old trotting fillies, so you'll get another rematch of the Big Sisters. But we'll focus on the 2-year-olds right now, including Man Force, as you mentioned, who's coming out of the paddock right now, and got a peek at that one. We'll get a closer look when it does step out onto the track. There is a look at number 2, Stonebridge Praise, and here's our chance to see a green Manalishi colt, a $26,000 yearling purchase out of the London Classic. Out of the Angus Hall mare, Stonebridge Encore is Stonebridge Praise, and Stonebridge Encore made it to the races, posted a couple of victories, but she's been a fantastic broodmare when it talk about getting results. She's the dam of 7 winners to date, and now this is also, of course, the same family as the Great Peaceful Way. So some deep roots here if you go through it at the 2.
The number 1 is Influencer, and we'll get a look at that one here at some point prior to the start. This one, a Muscle Mass colt, was bred by Winback Farm of Maryland, $15,000 Lexington purchase, sibling to a pair that earned $100,000 plus. So, again, want to thank Winback and all of our fantastic sponsors for making this coverage possible here this morning. And we'll wish them luck this year with their next groups that will be selling this fall at the different yearling sales throughout North America. There's Southwind Francoux, and it's going to be Sylvain Filion in the driver's seat. And it's got to be exciting for some of the drivers. This is days I'm sure they really look forward to, because it's new territory for them. They're trying to sort out who they're going to get to sit behind, and trying to sort of pick the right way, if you will, in these qualifying events. And Sylvain, from what we've seen so far, has been united with some real good-looking youngsters, and we've seen that even earlier today. So he's got to be excited about what is ahead this season, and let's look no further than tomorrow night for that, right, in the Pepsi NA Cup.
Yeah, with Fun Time by Emma, who is one of the elimination winners, but here this morning already has driven 2 winners on the program of this baby races, one on the trot, one on the pace, and for a couple different trainers. So you'll notice the one thing about the entries here today, for the most part, there aren't too many doubles. I know they do a pretty good job, obviously, of separating these horses based on their stable, but also you can see right here, a lot of the trainers are kind of already hitching their wagon to a couple of drivers who they're hoping to at least probably lock up early on. It makes things a little easier for the drivers if you don't have to make those choices. At the same time, though, you probably want to be able to have options, because it means you're in demand. But for the most part, really, there aren't too many doubles here today.
Yeah, it was interesting. You had Billy O on the show here yesterday. I caught a little bit of him and talking about those key decisions that you make after 1 or 2 qualifiers, and as he looks back, the great ones that he may have picked off of, and then the great ones that he picked up kind of by accident as someone else had picked off. And the one he pointed to that just made me shake my head was Macklebell. He had the early drive on Macklebell and gave it up, I think, 8 starts into his career, too.
That's what he said. 8 starts in, went with Sir Taurus, and, we know what happened.
Wow.
He talked about the fact, told that story at least, and then he did bring up the other side, like you just mentioned. Yep. You do get some vice versa, the other way around, where you pick them up off somebody. So I think at the end of the day, for the most part, it usually all works out in the wash.
Yeah, I would say.
At least I'll say that to somebody if they pick off one here today that goes on to be a champion.
And a guy like him had a pretty solid career overall.
Just all right.
So it didn't. Luckily, it didn't totally derail his driving career. Let's put it that way. We've got Trotters moving in for qualifier number 5 here this morning. Scheduled to be 7. Looks like we're down to only 5 or 6 here, Mark, from what I can see. 6. So we're missing one, and it looks like it's number 5. Close enough.
So
Take
there
it
you
away.
go. All right, here we go. Qualifier number 5 as we resume with today's action. Third of the way through on this 12-race program. Are on the trot. Number 1 is Influencer, a muscle mass colt trained by Kyle Bostons with Trevor Henry. Number 2 is Stonebridge Praise. Clint Guitard trains this son of Green Manalishi. The driver is Chris Christoforou. Number 3 is Man Force, a muscle mass colt trained by Susie Kerwood with Jody Jameson. Number 4 is HP Homeland, gelded son of Alarm Detector trained by Ben Bayarjan. Mario Bayarjan drives. 5 is out. Number 6 is Southwind Francoux, a Muscle Hill colt trained by Gaetan Hubert. The driver is Sylvain Filion. And number 7 is Rising Interest, gelded son of the Bank. Victor Putty trains. Trevor Henry does the driving. And we can make that Tyler Borth to do the driving on number 7, Rising Interest. All right, there you go. That's your now field of 6 as we have one scratch. 2-year-old Colton Gelding Trotters are all lined up as the gate comes off the turn. Into the stretch, and here they come. And they're off and trotting, and it's going to be a good beginning here for Southwind Francoux, who leaves out well and quickly moves towards the inside. Between horses is Stonebridge Praise. On that one's right is Man Force, who looks to power around up into second. Rising Interest from the outside leaves out well enough to land right into a 4-hole spot in front of the rail starter Influencer, who got away in 5th, and HP Homeland is the trailer in 6th. So it's Southwind Francoux, the Muscle Hill colt, who is out in front for Filion. The opening panel was 30-4. So it's Southwind Francoux who leads it by a little more than a length and a half as Man Force is in second and gets right up on the helmet, and looks like that one's going to come out from second now as Jameson will loop around. So here comes Man Force looking for the overtaking of the lead away from Southwind Francoux, who will be racing now in second. Closing the gap in third is Stonebridge Praise. 2 lengths then to Rising Interest in fourth. Influencer is then spotted in 5th, and 2 lengths in front of HP Homeland. So we had the lead change here in the second quarter as it's the Muscle Mass colt Man Force who leads it now. 1:02.2 was the half-mile time. Man Force is on top by 2.5 lengths. In second is Southwind Francoux. 2.5 more going back to Stonebridge Praise in third. About that same gap then to Rising Interest. It's Influencer in 5th, and 6th around the far bend is HP Homeland. So nothing changes here in the third quarter. Single file still as we go towards 3 quarters. Man Force leading it. Second is Southwind Francoux. Gets a little closer once again. Then Stonebridge Praise on the attack now is Influencers. That one has already gained a spot. 3-quarter time was 1:33. And as they straighten out for home, Man Force has the lead. Second is Southwind Francoux. On the outside, Influencer trying to get up into third. Battling with Stonebridge Praise at the rails. Rising Interest and back to HP Homeland. Man Force with the lead. Comes out a couple of lanes here. Still leads it by about 2 lengths. At the inside is Southwind Francoux. But a move to the lead in the second quarter. That was it. Man Force takes Qualifier 5. Second was Southwind Francoux. Rising Interest came up the inside to get third from Influencer in fourth. 2:01.2, 28-2 home for Man Force.
Our first look at Man Force this morning, and an impressive winning effort. This one again, the full sibling to the highly regarded our Liza. She's been a winning machine this year, and this guy 1 for 1 in his first qualifier here. Owned by M&L of Delaware, and the same ownership group of our Liza. Jody Jameson teaming up with trainer Susie Kerwood on this one. 59 seconds the back half, drifting a little bit across the track late, but still going forward. And it was Southwind Francoux, another good effort from this one. A winner last week, runner-up today, but lowered his time substantially. Rising Interest finishing third. Coming up to qualifier number 6 when we return. We'll be back on the pace here on Cosa-Tv.
The London Classic Yearling Sale, Canada's premier standardbred auction, returns October 15th and 16th to the Western Fair District Agriplex. Recent London sales standouts include O'Brien Award winners and millionaire performers, Logan Park, Fashion Frenzy, and Stockade Sealster. Leading North American consigners and yearlings by the sport's top sires, all under one roof in a world-class facility. Find your next champion at the London Classic Yearling Sale. Find out more by visiting londonclassic.ca.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Tara Hill Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to tarahills.com.
Welcome back. You're watching Cosa-Tv, live coverage of the Rookie Showcase. There's a colt that last week debuted here and was a winner. One of the fastest that we saw in the opening week of qualifiers here. 58-1 for Sterling Choice, 27-4 on the end. Roan, son of Better Than Cheddar, out for a second consecutive go-round here today. Post 2 to work with, and Blake McIntosh, Sylvain Filion, they've already clicked with a winner earlier today. Maybe a little tougher test for him. Some high-profile yearlings that he'll square off with here. One of them there, Glowing Lou. Look at Doc Moore and Bob McClure just having a bit of a chat about this guy as they make their way out. He's the son of Sweet Lou, and the second highest yearling price of all the horses we're going to see today, $260,000 last year from the Harrisburg sale.
Yes, and this is Glowing Lou, as you mentioned, is out of the Some Beach Somewhere mare Teeny Bopper, who herself is out of Glowing Report. So the second dam is that double millionaire Glowing Report. She was a winner of the Jugette and a lot of high-profile races. She was fantastic on the track. Herself as a broodmare, she's been the dam of 4 winners, but you're continuing to see now that line starting to carry on with her daughter, Teen Bopper, the dam of 1 winner to date, that one being Teen Dream, who has a mark of 53 and a piece, and now following along is Glowing Lou, who, as you mentioned, clearly was highly regarded, as that one commanded a big price at the yearling sale last fall.
And speaking of glowing, DA Super Glow is another one that will be generating some interest this morning. One of the Dance and Lose that we'll see in action post 7 for this guy. Jack Darling does the training. This one a sibling to the very fast Rise and Shine Seaside of 1-48 and 3 winners, got $340,000. DA Wicked Shine is the McWicked younger brother to that one, and Jack also is the one that purchased this guy and does the training, and he was a little bit slow to get going, but he's turned it around recently. A couple of eye-catching wins here, so I'm sure Jack sees something in this pedigree that he likes to go back to the well a second time here. And DA Super Glow, the early reports is this one had trained down well.
And I think that's a good point you bring up there, the fact that they do go right back to it and having that familiarity. There's a look at number 3, Devil's Wish, who is a son of McWicked out of the Rock and Roll Hanover mare Rock and Roll Wishes. So that mare, Rock and Roll Wishes, she is a half-sister to the great Better's Delight, along with Roll with Joe, no pan intended. So there are some deep roots here for this McWicked colt and Devil's Wish, who we will see for the first time here this morning.
There is Sterling Choice on track, the gray. I thought that was a real good effort last week. They were sprinting over the final quarter, and he had to dig in to win, so he showed that side of him early on, and the overall speed too.
Yeah, 158-1 was a real good mile here last Saturday morning. It was a 27-4 final quarter, and I think we all agree anything that was sub-28 last week was pretty eye-catching as they were coming into a headwind. Excited to see what the follow-up has for Sterling Choice, one that you can't miss when that one's out on the track, and continue to progress well. This one will certainly gain pretty good fan base, I would have to think.
Jody Jamieson with the driving assignment behind DA Super Glow, who we talked about. Our first look at him on screen. Nice big colt. The Dance and Lose, I see a couple of those have won in the U.S. in qualifying races. So, be a highly anticipated first crop on the racetrack of that guy. And, again, you talk about the pedigree. Rise and Shine Seaside horse that I've seen race, via simulcast. And, he's been blossomed into a top open pacer down around the Meadows circuit, and again a 48-3 mark, and that's on a 5/8 mile track. So a lot of speed in the family here. as we get set to go. It looks like all 7 are on track and are ready for qualifier number 6 right at the midway point on this beautiful Friday afternoon from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Here's Mark with the call.
Here is the field for qualifier number 6. Number 1 is LMC Peanuts Watchin'. He's watching Colt, trained and driven by Pat Hudon. Number 2 is Sterling Choice. This is a better than Cheddar Colt, trained by Blake McIntosh. The driver is Sylvain Filion. Number 3 is Devil's Wish. McWicked Colt, trained by Tony Beaton. The driver is James McDonald. Number 4, Lions Lightning, is a Lion Somewhere Colt, trained by Greg McNair. In the bike is Doug McNair. 5 is Nobody's Hero, Better's Delight Colt, trained by Sean Arnott. The driver is Tyler Jones. 6 is Glowing Lou, a Sweet Lou Colt, trained by Dr. Ian Moore, Bob McClure in the bike. And 7 is DA Super Glow, a Dancin' Lou Colt, trained by Jack Darling. The driver is Jody Jameson. A field of 7 is lined up for qualifier number 6 as we come to the midway point of today's 12-race session. A field of 7 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings. They are lined up as the gate comes off the turn and into the stretch. Set to pick up speed. Here they come for the 6th. And they're off and pacing. And we got a few of them pushing forward here, including Glowing Lou, who drives down the center. A little steppy on the outside off stride is DA Super Glow. Coming through from post 2 is Sterling Choice, as that one will get away in second. LMC Peanuts Watching is in third. Racing at that one's wheel is going to be Nobody's Hero. On the outside, DA Super Glow trying to straighten things out. Then down to the rail to Lions Lightning, and the trailer is Devil's Wish. To the opening quarter they go, and it pops up on the board in 31-1. That was courtesy of Glowing Lou. This Sweet Lou Colt in the debut is out in front. Another break in the turn there for DA Super Glow, who's taken to the back. So out in front, a bit of a 2-horse breakaway here is Glowing Lou and Sterling Choice, and they're clear by about 6 or 7 lengths. LMC Peanuts Watching is back in third. Then racing in fourth, that's going to be Nobody's Hero. Back in fifth is Lions Lightning to Devil's Wish, and DA Super Glow rounds things out. They race by the half in a minute flat. That was a second quarter paced in 28-4. Going on to the far turn, it's Glowing Lou who shows the way as Sterling Choice is able to trail that one and just tail along in second, getting the toe. Tightening up in third, LMC Peanuts Watching. Nobody's Hero in fourth. Fifth remains Lions Lightning, going back to Devil's Wish, and the trailer's DA Super Glow. Out in front, it continues to be Glowing Lou, who leads it by about 2 lengths here on Sterling Choice, as they're going to get down to 3 quarters in a time of 1:30-3 off the turn into the stretch. And so far, it's been Glowing Lou that has showed the way. Sterling Choice is right in behind in second. Up on the outside, Nobody's Hero trying to battle into third from LMC Peanuts Watching, and Lions Lightning back in fifth. 1/8 of a mile to go. Here's the square off now, and Sterling Choice looks to go on by. Sterling Choice takes the lead away from Glowing Lou, and Sterling Choice is going to pace away late to take this one. Back-to-back baby race scores for Sterling Choice. Second was Glowing Lou, and then finishing in third was Nobody's Hero from LMC Peanuts Watching, and Lions Lightning 1:59-2 for Sterling Choice.
As Mark said, 2 for 2 now for Sterling Choice, and another eye-catching final quarter rally to win it. The 2-hole trip, able to draft really for as long as Sylvain wanted to, and when he asked the question of this guy, he got the response he was looking for. Kicks home and wins in 59-2. Not quite as fast as last week, but I would say equally impressive for this son of Better Than Cheddar. So it looks like he's ready to hit the races, and I'm sure we'll see him in action in Ontario Sire Stakes in these coming next couple of weeks. So we are halfway through this Friday morning session. Another break, and be back with more Pacers next.
Winback Farm of Canada's now home to Meadowlands Pace champion Beach Glass.
Beach Glass wins the Cane Pace. Beach Glass.
Well, today it's Beach Glass. And Beach Glass is going to get there. Beach Glass in front.
Beach Glass! The beach is back! Beach Glass!
New to Winback Farm of Canada in 2024. For more information, visit winbackfarm.ca.
It's Cosa-TV's live coverage of the Rookie Showcase, and here's a look at the field page for qualifier number 7. Back on the pace this time around, and another good-looking group when you look through certainly the families of these ones. Number 7, Twin B Courageous, one that kind of pops off the page here. He's a Poppy Rob Hanover colt from the Dragon Again mare in the pink. She's the dam of Twin B Tough Enough, a horse that we saw learn his early lessons and around these parts, and is now in Atlantic, Canada, one of the top free-for-all pacers down there. He said more than $700,000 earned during a really lucrative racing career. Twin B Fighter, another good one from the mare, $342,000 earned for that one. So the Poppy Rob Hanovers, this was a stallion that has garnered a lot of attention at the yearling sales, and getting a look at his youngsters on the track, and so far so good from what we've seen there. Twin Brook has got another one in here, Twin B Wise Guy. And Twin Brook, one of our sponsors here of our coverage today, and one of the more prominent breeders. They don't breed the volume of horses that some of the larger stables do, but the quality is exceptional, and they've really become known for that.
They have, and I mean, you look at the dam of that guy you just saw on the scene, Twin B Wise Guy, the dam Miller's Bird. She is the dam of 5 winners to this point, including 4 in 55 and better. And of course, I'm sure Twin Brook, the entire crew, will be certainly pretty excited for tomorrow night to see one of their most prominent foals that they've sent to the yearling sale and then gone on to the races, in Twin B Joe Fresh.
I think there's going to be quite a cheering section
there will
here.
Be.
And rightly so. Yeah, she's been something else. And to watch her and Sylvia Hanover, the battles they've had to this point in their careers, and they've both had their moments certainly in the spotlight, and another clash tomorrow night. But certainly not just a 2-horse race. No. They're going to have to work for it.
They will for sure, and I mean, Sylvia Hanover hasn't won yet this year in 3 starts, and yet you can just see she's raced well, and she's probably getting stronger each and every start. And if tomorrow night she came through, you wouldn't be shocked. That's a real good group of 4-year-old mares that have jumped up into the Roses Are Red, because I think we should probably give some flowers to the other limb winner from last week, Twin B Joe Fresh won, and so too did Always Be Naughty, who's also a 4-year-old. So they talk about that transition period usually, and they're coming to play as they've moved into the age ranks.
Yeah, that division's starting to kind of remind me back. I remember back the day at Woodbine when you had, Eternal Cam Nation and that group of mares. Burning Point came along.
Bunny Lake.
Beauty. Exactly. It was just it was so deep, and every year there was 1 or 2 new ones getting added to the mix. Just made it deeper and deeper, and it's got that same sort of feel. And hey, let's give some props too to the what known as the Queen of Canadian Racing so much more, the multiple O'Brien Award winner. She won the Forest City Pace recently in London as well, and she's getting back into sharp form. A good second in her elimination a week ago. So that is one deep field, just part of a deep overall program tomorrow night, Pepsi NA Cup night. Here tomorrow evening, there's a look at James McDonald. He'll be teaming up here with the number 4, Connor B. Big Jim Colt, who was out for a spin last week, finished 4th. Kicked home well, 27-2 on the end.
Yeah, 27-2. That race was won by Takeout Hanover. Finishing 3rd in there was TH Casey Crunch. So those are 2 that have come back this morning and turned in some pretty good efforts. So I think that's certainly notable to finish 4th in behind that group and pace home the way that this Big Jim Colt did.
We're seeing a few from the Bob McIntosh stable surface this weekend, and we'll see one of them here, Sensational. Sunshine Beach Colt from the mare Well Pondered. She didn't race, but she's been a good producer to this point, including Sundance Kid, who's got a mark of 150, and well-assessed youngster that's been progressing well here in Ontario. Recent winner in a prospect division at Flamborough Downs in 55 and 3. Sensational will occupy post 1 in this spot as we take a look around and make sure all the horses are out on track for here. And talk about the homebred program and having those the brood mares and the stakes fillies that he has on the racetrack that go on to be come brood mares, and it's just almost built his own little empire there. It's incredible the talent, the world-class talent that's been produced out of that farm.
It certainly is, and I know we talked about it a little bit yesterday when he debuted a couple of 2-year-old fillies. One finished second, trotting filly Incantation, and then Famous Fast Words, a nice-looking effort from that filly yesterday. She was a winner in our final qualifier yesterday. She is out of the mare Sex Appeal, who was a Grand Circuit winner. This is her first foal, so to me, you talk about it, they each year have something to bring to the races that's going to race at that top level, and doing it the way they have all internally, it's been very, very impressive.
There's another one of the horses that did qualify last week. I'm a Perfect Choice, a son of Courtly Choice, Desiree Jones training, Gino Toscani driving. Gino owns this son of Courtly Choice. He'll have post number 3 to work with here today, and one of 2 in the field that has faced the starting gate. Again, the 2 Twin B horses here, had a look at them. Both look fantastic on the track. Wise Guy, the number 2, $70,000 London Classic sale purchase from last fall. Courageous, number 7, sold for $95,000 in the Harrisburg sale. Lil Mo Problems, number 5, should touch on that one quickly. Kevin Bodds trains this one. Tyler Jones will drive. Another Sunshine Beach offspring here. And another good producing mare, Simply Lucky, the daughter of Camluck, from 13 foals. 12 of them have made the races. So some pedigree potential for Lil Mo Problems here. You could say that about all 7, certainly in this spot. Gate rolling for Qualifier 7. Mark with the call.
We enter the back half of this 12-race qualifying session today, and we are once again on the pace. 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings, qualifier number 7. Number 1 is Sensational, a Sunshine Beach colt trained by Bob McIntosh. The driver was to be Sylvan Fillion. This one is out, so a scratch of number 1. Number 2 is Twin B Wise Guy. Number 2 is Twin B Wise Guy, a Bettor's Delight colt. Nicky Kamenia trains. The driver is Trevor Henry. Number 3, I'm a Perfect Choice. Courtly Choice colt trained by Desiree Jones. The driver is Gino Toscani. 4 is Connor B, a Big Jim colt trained by Friday Dean. The driver James McDonald. 5, Lil Mo Problems, Sunshine Beach colt trained by Kevin Bodds. The driver Tyler Jones. 6 is SOS Sports Bet, Bettor's Delight colt trained by Greg McNair with Doug McNair. And 7 is Twin B Courageous, a Poppy Rob Hanover colt trained by Francis Dumichel. The driver is Bob McClure. Gate into the stretch, and here they come for qualifier number 7. And they're off and pacing, and from the outside, Twin B Courageous is leaving out. Down the center of the track over to the rail is I'm a Perfect Choice. There's Connor B to get away in 3rd. Twin B Wise Guy is in 4th. Then Lil Mo Problems in 5th, and SOS Sports Bet is going to get away in 6th. So it's I'm a Perfect Choice who leads it as they go into the first turn. I'm a Perfect Choice out in front. This Courtly Choice colt is leading the charge. Twin B Courageous in 2nd. Connor B is then in 3rd. The opening quarter was 28-4. Fastest split of the day in that opening panel. And it's I'm a Perfect Choice in the 2nd qualifier of this one's career, leading them into the backstretch. Twin B Courageous in 2nd. Tightening up in 3rd was Connor B. And also now getting a little closer in 4th is Twin B Wise Guy. That one is tracked 5th by Lil Mo Problems. And then our trailer in 6th is SOS Sports Bet. So it continues to be I'm a Perfect Choice out in front, backing things down here in the 2nd quarter after that 28-4 opener. In the pocket spot is Twin B Courageous in 2nd. The half was hit in 59-4. A 2nd quarter paced in 31 seconds even. Onto the far turn, I'm a Perfect Choice still leading it. 2nd continues to be Twin B Courageous, while Connor B is there in 3rd. 2.5 lengths going back to Twin B Wise Guy in 4th, followed by Lil Mo Problems, and then 2.5 back to our trailer SOS Sports sports bet. Out from second now, here comes Twin B Courageous. Pops the pocket going to 3/4 as I'm a Perfect Choice is now confronted. They're on even terms, and watching them from in third is Connor B. 129 in 4, 30 seconds flat in the third panel and into the stretch. And here's Twin B Courageous who will take the lead. It's Twin B Courageous out in front. Back in second, I'm a Perfect Choice. Then it's Connor B in third. Back to the other three is about 6 or 7 lengths. Less than an eighth to go. Twin B Courageous followed second up to 3/4, came around and paces away to win it by about 4 or 5 lengths. So it'll be Twin B Courageous finishing second. I'm a Perfect Choice. Up to that one's wheel. Connor B was third. 156 and 3. A strong final quarter of 26 and 4 for Twin B Courageous.
Well, that was the wow effort that we expected we'd probably see one or two of here this morning. And Twin B Courageous, big strapping son of Poppy Rob Hanover. He was reaching for racetrack in the final quarter. 26 and 4. That's the fastest final quarter clocking that we've seen in the first couple of weekends of the baby races here. And this guy certainly looks like a bright future here. Bob McClure able to sit him in second much of the way and then turns on the jets in the late stages. I'm a Perfect Choice held well for second with Connor B in the top 3 in qualifier number 7. More Pacers when we return, coming up next on Cosa-Tv.
Sealster, a name synonymous with quality. From their picturesque farm in Lucan, Ontario, Sealster Farms has been producing champions for decades. Stars like $650,000 winner Poseidon Sealster, millionaire mares Karma and Kendall Sealster, and 2-time O'Brien Award-winning Stockade Sealster. Sealster is also the home of many of Canada's top stallions, like Sunshine Beach, All Bets Off, and world champion superstar Bulldog Hanover, the sport's all-time fastest performer. Find your next champion at Sealster Farms. For more information, visit sealsterfarms.com.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU covers the sport from all angles with news, features, photography, opinion, and analysis of racing. Also, HRU covers breeding and sales, as well as industry stories you need to know. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. And the best news is that it's free to subscribe. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com and see what everyone is talking about.
Welcoming you back to Woodbine Mohawk Park. It is a Friday morning of weekend number 2 of the Rookie Showcase, just past the halfway point here today. Again, for those who are just joining us, the weather has been perfect. We've seen some impressive efforts so far, and want to make sure that you let us know where you're tuning in from. If you've got a question or comment, make sure to drop it in the comment section on whatever platform you're watching. You'll be automatically entered for a chance to win that London Classic Yearling Sale quarter zip. London Classic Yearling Sale, one of our valued sponsors here this afternoon. Well, Mark, we should talk quickly about Twin B Courageous. We thought, by the look of the appearance on the track and his pedigree, that we could be in for something fun to watch, and that was definitely the case.
Lived up to the hype, I guess you could say, and off a nice trip. I think you also need the kind of the fractions to set up typically, but off the 28-4 opener, they still backed it down in the middle half. So it wasn't like this one got carried to 3/4 in 28 and then went in 56. This one sprinted home in 26-4, looked real strong. You talked about the look on this one, has the size and the stride right there. One that could even straighten things out a little bit more and is going to probably get better with that experience now under its belt. So that was a real nice debut from Twin B Courageous, who is the fastest 2-year-old in Canada at this point.
Yes, indeed. They're all at different levels of their development at this stage, and this guy certainly going in the right direction, perhaps a bright future in front of him, and it will be interesting to see, too, where he ultimately surfaces in the coming weeks. Be eligible to lots of big races, no doubt. They're getting ready to come out now for the 8th of the morning. Another group of pacers in this spot, and 7 scheduled to go. So again, we got caught in the last race. We missed one horse we thought was in to go, but it turned out that he wasn't. So we'll try and keep an eye on them coming out as best we can. Again, 7 of them scheduled to go in this spot, including Peloton Sealster, another one of those 6-figure yearlings that we spotlighted at the beginning of the day. $105,000 London Classic purchase, and not surprisingly, has moved into the barn of Doc Moore, because this guy's a son of Shadow Play from Porsche Sealster. That makes him a half to the hard-hitting Poseidon Sealster, another of those warriors we're going to see here tomorrow night.
We will tomorrow night, and I don't know if there's a horse that probably gets his due, because that is one of the toughest horses we've seen in recent years here at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and racing all over. I mean, this one has traveled as well and will show up for any dance and usually gives you a pretty honest battle. So if any of those traits pass on here to the younger sibling, look out.
Yeah, we saw him in London most recently, finishing 3rd in this year's edition of the Camluck Classic that was won by Hullabaloo with Line Drive Hanover, the runner-up, and Line Drive, another one that's come back good this season. We'll see Legendary, of course, in the big dance tomorrow night as well. What a fun night that is. It's hard not to look ahead and get excited about that, but I'll tell you what, we're excited from what we've seen so far here this morning, and we'll see if we have more of that in store here. Getting a look there at number 4. Light Up the World, this one owned by Mac and Carol Nickel, and Tony Beaton trains, son of American Ideal. It's been a good day for the Nichols so far. Some of their youngsters have been impressive.
They have, and that's what you want to see, right? As you talk about the fact that you're waiting all winter, especially as the owners, you're not necessarily as hands-on. You're just getting your reports. You're ready to see what they can bring to the table, and when they show up, has to be the best feeling that that investment looks like it might pay off.
Looking back earlier on the program, in fact, way back to race 1, it was Century Legion getting it done on the trot. Really good-looking winner in the first. We're going to see another Century product here. Century Lucifer, another Shadow Play in the field. The colt out of Exotic Pleasures, been a tremendous producer for Century Spring Farms. 7 starters from 9 foals. They've averaged more than $150,000 per starter. This one, just a $25,000 purchase last fall in London. Renee Dion is the trainer of this guy, and it looks like, that's Tyler Borth picking up the drive on Century Lucifer. Looks good on the track. The Shadow Plays, they're still going strong. He's still producing, and kind of stamps them too. They usually have a flashy type appearance on the track, much like he did.
Yes, exactly that, right? And now, think about the fact that, what was he, a 3-year-old back in 2008? So, it's another stallion that's showing that longevity and continues to have them come out each and every year and show up, right? And that's what I think when you get to this point now, you can appreciate that. When you see one of them at the sale, you know what you're probably going to get.
The Ultimate Homebred, number 1, Lions Tug of War. I think he's out there. This one, sired by Lion Somewhere from the Bettor's Delight mare, Lions Pocket Rocket. 3 Lions Racing of Brantford are the owners of this one. Team McNair will send out Lions Tug of War, post 1 in this field of 7. And now they're taking a turn here. Looks like we're going to have a short delay. They've turned, and so we're under some sort of a short delay here for qualifier number 8. The number 4, Light Up the World, getting back to that one, the American Ideal colt, $95,000 Lexington purchase last year. Sibling to Bedroom Confessions, a millionaire winner, and a commanding officer horse that was a top-class performer here on this circuit, a winner of $400,000. So $95,000. Certainly not a bargain basement type, but reasonable price, I think, based on the family that we've seen.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Turn Off the Lights has been a very nice broodmare to this point with those horses that you just talked about. So I think you'd give this one certainly a big look, no doubt about it, at the yearling sale, and brought almost 6 figures. And Well, I'm excited to see how this one will debut here for the first time.
Yeah, and we just saw the number 7 Century Lucifer on track, and we were both kind of looking at each other. Really liked the appearance of that one, as expected. Really has a presence about him out on the racetrack. A pellet and Sealster, trying to get a look, see if that one's out there as well. And it looks like an equipment to repair on the number 1. Yep, the one's back in here now, so we'll be under just a very slight delay here. Singing with Jimmy, we should talk about that. What a big Jim colt. Another one of those stalwarts of certainly of the Ontario breeding program. Big Jim has produced so many hard-hitting types over the course of his stallion career. Was a Breeders' Crown winner on the racetrack. And Singing with Jimmy, this one owned by Keith Hanna, along with Jody and Ron Cullen and Travis. So this one, a homebred, Sing Like an Angel, good mare for that barn. $363,000 earned in her career. This is just the second full, and yeah, nice appearance on the track too. Just kind of a nice size, I think, for a 2-year-old, and everything that the Cullens send to the racetrack, they're ready to go and going to be very competitive.
Yeah, and the fact that you see them bringing out some babies as well, that's exciting because they do deliver with their overnight stock, and they seem to have one kind of that ranges in, doesn't matter what class, right? They kind of got them to fill, and they can always show up, and now they've got some babies here this year that they've been bringing out here this morning. Singing with Jimmy, a Big Jim colt, as you mentioned, and I liked what we saw from the Big Jim colt in the race prior, that being Connor B., who had finished third and has now qualified well in back-to-back starts. So Big Jim represented here this morning. He's been a great sire when it comes on the side of fillies and mares. Many of his top performers were the fillies and mares, but here we got a couple of the boys today that have shown up, and if this one can get off to a good beginning, I'm definitely put a star beside this one, considering how red hot the Cullen Barn has been this season.
And so many options for them with these youngsters when they start out. You can go the gold route, depending how you qualify. You've got the grassroots, and you've got the Prospect Series now as well. The OSS program continues to be one of the best, if not the best, in North America annually. And what we're seeing in recent years too, Mark, is that the top OSS competitors, I mean, it's always been like that to some extent, but I think even more so in recent years, the top OSS competitors can really compete and hold their own with anybody.
Yeah, they can, and you talk about the options that you have. I know we were mentioning it last Saturday with that new stake, the Thompson Jeers Stakes that's coming here to Woodbine Mohawk Park at the end of the month. I'm just looking at some of the eligibles when it comes to the 2-year-old Pace and Colt division, which will go on June 28th, and we've already seen Sterling Choice, who is eligible. Another one on the list there that we've seen is Takeout Hanover, THKC Crunch. So there's a few this morning that are probably being pointed for that stake event coming up on June 28th, which probably shows that'll be depending how many enter, considering in the Pace and Colt division there's only 26 eligible. If you end up getting just one division, that could be a pretty good race to kick things off.
Absolutely, and there's a look at the upcoming OSS schedule. The first events for the 2-year-olds, the Golds will take place the weekend of July 5th and 6th. Colt Pacers on the 5th, the Philly Pacers on the 6th. Grassroots 2 nights later right here at Woodbine Mohawk Park as well. And Grand River will host the Prospect Series the same night over the brand new 5/8 mile oval there for both 2-year-old Colts and 2-year-old Philly Pacers as well. And a little bit of a difference for this group, Mark, that's out on the track with the delay here. So they're out there, they're milling about. Thought they were ready to go. Now they've had to reset a couple of times, so they're getting a little bit of added experience that some of the other ones haven't.
Yeah, and on a day like today, it's warm. It's continuing to get warm by the minute as we get closer towards the noon hours. So maybe that experience, though, probably doesn't hurt because it looks like all of them, for the most part, very well behaved, pretty calm as they're going to move up behind the gate.
I was just going to say, you really like the demeanor that I see from all 7 out there. Nice and relaxed, so I don't think going to be any concern in that regard. And the starting gate is now rolling for qualifier number 8. And we have all 7 scheduled starters taking up their positions. Good-looking qualifier coming up next. Mark?
Yes, race number 8, qualifier number 8 here today. Just one driver change to note. That was on the 7 Century Lucifer. Tyler Borth does the driving. Here is the field. Number 1 is Lions Tug of War, a Lions Somewhere colt trained by Greg McNair. Doug McNair in the bike. Number 2, Ace 44 Beaver, is a Dally colt trained by Kyle Bossens. The driver is Trevor Henry. 3 is Johnny Be Quick, a Big Bad John colt trained by Gino Cicero. The driver is Jody Jameson. 4, Light Up the World, American Ideal colt trained by Tony Beaton with James McDonald. 5 is Singin' with Jimmy, a Big Jim colt trained by Jody Cullen. Travis Cullen drives. 6 is Peloton Sealster, a Shadow Play colt trained by Dr. Ian Moore with Sylvan Filion. And 7 is Century Lucifer, another Shadow Play colt. Renee Dion trains. Tyler Borth will do the driving. All right, there you go. A field of 7 for qualifier number 8. Another break to come up following this 8th qualifier, as we've got 12 in total for this Friday here from the Hawk. Starting gate to the top of the stretch as a field of 7 is all lined up. Pacing colts and geldings, picking up speed. Here they come. And they're off and pacing. Peloton Sealster is going to leave out well down the center of the track. Some early speed also shown here by Johnny Be Quick, living up to the name. Johnny Be Quick shoots out of there at the rail lines. Tug of War was also off to a nice start as Ace 44 Beaver goes in behind in 4th. From the outside, Century Lucifer is going to land in mid-pack in front of Light Up the World, and then we go back to Singing with Jimmy. So a few of them still looking for seats as they get into the first turn. Johnny Be Quick has command. 2nd is Lions Tug of War. In 3rd is Ace 44 Beaver, as Peloton Sealster had to take back to drop in 4th. 30 and 2 was the opening split. A 2-length advantage here. Loose leader is Johnny Be Quick as they straighten out into the backstretch. Lions Tug of War is in 2nd. Ace 44 Beaver in 3rd. And then racing in 4th is Peloton Sealster. 2 more lengths back to Century Lucifer in 5th, as closing in on that rival is Light Up the World 6th. And racing in 7th is Singing with Jimmy. So as they come up towards the midway point, single file and fairly tightly grouped here is this field of 7 as they come by the midway point. The half was hit in 1:01 and 2. That was the second quarter in 31 seconds. A 2-length advantage here for the Big Bad John colt, Johnny Be Quick. In 2nd remains Lions Tug of War. On that one's back in 3rd is Ace 44 Beaver. Peloton Sealster is still there in 4th. Mid-pack 5th is Century Lucifer. 6th around the far turn is Light Up the World. And then we go back to Singing with Jimmy, who rounds things out. Nobody's moved just yet. There's the first one to go. Ace 44 Beaver pops out from 3rd, but it's a 2.5 length lead up front for Johnny Be Quick at 3/4 in 1:31 and 3, 30 and 1 split there, and they'll sprint on home as they straighten out into the stretch. It's Johnny Be Quick with a few lengths of separation on them. Outside 2nd is Ace 44 Beaver. At the rails lines, Tug of War looking to rally now. Century Lucifer on the far outside. Between horses is Peloton Sealster and Light Up the World, but up front it's Johnny Be Quick trying to go the distance. Rushing up is Century Lucifer trying to get there. Johnny Be Quick and Century Lucifer on the outside got there to take it. Johnny Be Quick was 2nd, tight for 3rd. 2 minutes flat is the final time.
And yes, indeed, Century Lucifer really kicking home with authority there in qualifier number 8. Didn't look like he had enough racetrack to get there. 28 and 2 was the final quarter time. His had to be in the 27 and change range from where he came from. And, yeah, kind of a measured win here. Tyler Borth picking up the driving assignment. The Rene Dion trainee getting it done. Son of Shadow Play, hauling down the tempo setter right on the money. And another impressive effort here in qualifier number 8. We'll switch gears. We have another trotting event coming up next when the Rookie Showcase returns on Cosa-Tv.
Winback Farm of Canada is home to 9 exceptional stallions, including Beach Glass, the last great son of legendary sire of sires, Some Beach Somewhere. Also new in 2024, Lawless Shadow, an O'Brien Award winner for 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings. Double millionaire betting line, sire of 5 winners of over $400,000. Merrick Wicked, the richest pacing stallion in harness racing history, and Hall of Fame inductee. Trixton, sire of 6 who have earned over $500,000, including O'Brien Award winner Evident Beauty. Also standing Archangel, Better Than Cheddar, Better's Delight, and My MVP. For more information, winbackfarm.com.
Love horse racing? HPIBet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
Welcome back for our second short intermission as we resume with the final portion of today's day 3 of our rookie showcase coverage on Cosa-Tv. And another look at some of the blue chip prospects that we're seeing in action today. One of them coming up here, his name is the Hitman Hart. We've corrected the graphic. Want to thank Jake Higgs, who is watching online, and corrected us there. That one was listed as a buyback, same ownership listed, but it's, I think, just a mistake on the line, but the Hitman Hart did go for $115,000, one of the highest priced yearlings last year at the London sale. And easy to understand why. This one is a son of Green Manalishi, half-brother to the millionaire Logan Park and the Ontario Sire Stakes superstar Willie's Home Run. And the Green Manalishis have looked good, as we've talked about over the last couple of qualifying sessions here for the baby. So the Hitman Hart, highly anticipated first time on the racetrack in qualifying action here this morning. And we'll have post 2 to work with. Kyle Bossens trains, and it's going to be Trevor Henry listed to do the driving here this morning. And that one just making his way to the track as we speak. Scheduled to be a field of 8 this time around. Again, want to welcome some of our viewers tuning in today. We've got Ian Trotter from London, Ontario. Don Lilly all the way from Medina, Tennessee. Great to have Don watching in on the YouTube feed. Tammy Saunier is watching from Summerside and was watching with great interest. Sterling Choice, who was a winner for their second consecutive week here earlier today. Mark McKelvey will rejoin us momentarily, and he'll have the call of the 9th qualifier coming up. So 4 more left to go here this morning as we get a look at them on post-parade on the track now. Gravenhurst is one of 4 in this field that did go postward last week. The Muscle Mass yearling was a winner last week, 203-1, and did it all on the front end last time around. Sylvain Filion, he said multiple winners here this afternoon. He'll be on board the son of Muscle Mass, Blake McIntosh. Another busy day for him. Blake's found the winner's circle a couple of times this morning as well, and we'll look to add to that today. There is the Hitman Hart now on screen, and this one again with that very well-known pedigree here in Ontario. Willie's Home Run, Logan Park, they have been staples of the Ontario Sire Stakes for the last number of years, and Logan Park, he's come back very strong again this season, and really is maybe in career best form at this point in time. Willie's Home Run, she's been upended a couple of times by Arliza of late, so quite a rivalry brewing there in that division. And so we're seeing this sibling, and we've seen the sibling to Arliza qualify earlier today and look good. So that could be another potential rivalry, Mark, as we look ahead in the 2-year-old colt division. Wouldn't that be something if a couple of ones with those famous older siblings on the female side were to square off in the OSS program?
I think it'd just be fantastic, and I think the fact that you can get those rivalries brewing and then see it maybe carry on speaks again to the talent here in Ontario and the depth that those horses can come back around. They're not one and dones. They're not one-hit wonders, right, for the dam. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to see the Hitman Hart because there was a lot of hype around this one when we went to the yearling sale last fall there in London.
Yeah, he was one that a lot of people had out and were looking at him prior to the sale, so it wasn't shocking that he would go for 6 figures plus and a highly anticipated debut on the racetrack here today. We had a look at Hey Dude a moment ago. This is another one returning after I thought a good second-place effort a week ago for Team Jameson. This one is a son of Green Shoe.
And the Green Shoes, this is the second crop, so we're just seeing if maybe they take another step forward this year. Obviously, this is a new group, but this is a well-bred colt out of stakes-winning mare Danielle Hall, and Team Jameson obviously very familiar with her.
All right, a quick shout-out as well to a couple other folks watching on our Cosa-Tv YouTube channel, David Tackman and Michael Staniker from Fort Washington, Maryland. Great to have you tuning in here this afternoon. Hope everyone is enjoying the coverage. We have 4 more races to go, and it's a field of 8 trotters, all 8 of them behind the gate here to kick off our final portion of today's Rookie Showcase.
Qualifier number 9, 2-year-old Colton Gelding Trotters. Here's the field of 8. Number 1 is Gravenhurst, a muscle mass colt trained by Blake McIntosh with Sylvan Filion. Number 2, the Hitman Hart, Green Man Alishi colt, trained by Kyle Bossens with Trevor Henry. Number 3 is Hey Dude, a green shoe colt trained by Carl Jameson. Jody Jameson drives. 4 is Artful Dodger, a Green Man Alishi colt trained by Dan Legacy. The driver's Brady Legacy. 5 is Day, Wheelin' and Dealin' colt trained by Luke Blay with Louis Waugh to drive. 6 is LMC Little Chips, a Wheelin' and Dealin' colt trained and driven by Pat Houdon. 7 is Landing on Top, a tactical landing colt trained by Desiree Jones. The driver is Gino Toscani. And number 8 is Nickel and Dime, a gelded son of Resolve trained by Matt Bax. The driver is Todd Ratchford. A field of 8. Rookie Trotters are lined up as they come to the top of the stretch. Qualifier number 9. Gate picking up speed, and here they come. And the Raw-Fan trotting, Nickel and Dime from the far outside is going to get our first call. Down the middle is Artful Dodger, and some good strides at the rail from Gravenhurst to hold ground as the Hitman Hart tries to split on through, and maybe we'll take back in behind that rail rival. 4 across in the early going. Back in 5th is Day. To that one's left is Hey Dude. Then you'll find LMC Little Chips, and Landing on Top is the trailer around the first turn, and things still need to get sorted out a bit here. Gravenhurst from the inside was pushed forward and gets the lead. Opening quarter was trotted in 31-1. In second is the Hitman Hart, who was able to slash on through and gets that 2-hole trip. Then in third, as settling in, was Nickel and Dime, the outside starter. That one got in front of Artful Dodger in 4th. 5th is Hey Dude. 6th up the backstretch is Day. 2 more lengths then to LMC Little Chips, and our trailer is Landing on Top. They're moving up towards the half, and it's the muscle mass colt Gravenhurst who still leads it by 2.5 lengths here as the lead stretches out a bit. They're by the midway point in a clocking of 101-4. So the second quarter was a little bit quicker than the first. They went 30-3 off a 31-1 opener. It's a 3-length lead up front here for Gravenhurst. In second is the Hitman Hart. Then racing in third is Nickel and Dime. 4th around the far turn continues to be Artful Dodger. About 3 or so lengths going back then to Hey Dude, who's followed by Day. On that one's back is Landing on Top and LMC Little Chips as they come to 3 quarters, and it's still Gravenhurst in the second go for this rookie by 3 quarters in 131-3. Third quarter was trotted in 29-4. They come into the stretch. Gravenhurst has the lead. Now on the outside comes the Hitman Hart to fire his shot as they're coming to the 8th pole. It's Gravenhurst, the Hitman Hart on the outside. Battling on for third is Nickel and Dime. On the far outside, rallying is Day. And up the rail comes Hey Dude. Here's the Hitman Hart going on by. The Hitman Hart is going to take qualifier number 9 to win it by about 3 parts of a length. Second was Gravenhurst, and then finishing third was Day on the extreme outside, 201 flat.
The Hitman Hart winning in the debut, another son of Green Man Alishi. Again, as we talked about, the sibling to Logan Park Willie's home run. Starts his career off on a winning note, capturing qualifier number 9, 201, 59 and 1 back half speed. I would say a measured win for this guy. And pretty big, sizable colt on the racetrack, but covers the ground well and kind of travels like his older siblings, carries the head kind of the same way. Hauls down Gravenhurst, another good effort from that son of Muscle Mass. Good start to the career there. And Day, the Wheelin' and Dealin' colt, is your final top 3 finishers there in the 201 mile for the Hitman Hart in qualifier number 9. Pacers coming up next, qualifier 10 of 12 when we return.
The London Classic Yearling Sale, Canada's premier standardbred auction, returns October 15th and 16th to the Western Fair District Agriplex. Recent London sales standouts include O'Brien Award winners and millionaire performers, Logan Park, Fashion Frenzy, and Stockade Sealster. Leading North American consigners and yearlings by the sport's top sires, all under one roof in a world-class facility. Find your next champion at the London Classic Yearling Sale. Find out more by visiting londonclassic.ca.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Tara Hill Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to tarahills.com.
Welcome back. The Hitman Hart going to get on in qualifier number 9. For those wrestling fans out there, old wrestling fans, I'd like seeing that. And we were just kind of speculating how fun it would have been to have the theme music ready.
It's probably
maybe down the road. Probably copyright issue.
We could figure that out.
Probably get the live stream taken down. We don't want that today because we've still got 3 to go here this morning as we welcome you back live. There's a nice look from inside the paddock. Some coming back in off the track, others getting ready to go for the final 3 here. We've got a field of pacers next, and 7 of them getting set to go postward in this spot. Number 1 in the field is Aquinas Hanover, a Bettor's Delight colt. We've seen the Bettor's Delights prominent all morning long and over the course of the first 2 weekends. This guy, a $25,000 yearling. And interesting because when you look at the mare's production record, Mark, another one that's just done nothing but throw out winners and quality horses, has had 9 starters, and 7 of them have made over $100,000. The highest of those, Abelard Hanover, horse that formerly raced on this circuit, banked $120,000. So Aquinas Hanover and the Bettor's Delights, they just keep showing up year after year. This could be another one that maybe fell through the cracks a little bit at the sale.
Yeah, it's possible, and I know sometimes as the mare gets a little bit older, people don't necessarily have the same expectations, but I think Bulldog Hanover proved that a few years ago that an old mare can still be very successful in this game. You look under the second dam, so you see who the siblings are to the dam here, All-American Co-Ed, and you've got the likes of Caviar Alley, All-Speed Hanover. So this is a real deep pedigree here, and a lot of speed in this family as well. You talked about how many winners. Well, 7 of them had a mark in 53 or better.
Dr. Ian Moore unveiling a number of 2-year-olds here today. 4 of them 6-figure yearling purchases, and one of them is Prince Hal Hanover. We're going to see him in action here. Your post 3 starter. This one is a son of Captain Treacherous. Second full from the $1 million winner Percy Blue Chip, who Doc knows well. Campaigned her during the early portions of her brilliant career. And Doc knows his way around a good horse, and that's why he took home an O'Brien Award, deserved O'Brien Award last year as Canada's Trainer of the Year.
Percy Blue Chip, when she debuted back in July of 2017, she won her first race, her first lifetime start in 151-2. I mean, she took everybody by storm, and then went on a real hot streak to start her career, won the super final that year, and so her 2-year-old campaign was so strong. Sometimes I look for some correlation then to see not just the foals, but even siblings as well. Do they come out and are they just do they peak right away? Are they ready to go right away? So I'll be curious to see how this colt does perform.
Yeah, that was a real head-turning effort at the time, and you wondered what she would do after, and she had a great career. Another one that comes to mind that did something similar was Dolly. Yes. As a 2-year-old, won very quickly in 51 and change, and you wondered, Jesus, that maybe a little too fast at this stage, but he went on and he banged heads against one of the deepest crops ever, especially in the 3-year-old division as a stakes performer. Here, number 2, Blue Bars, another one of the homebreds from the Cullen stable. This one is a full brother to Glenborough, the All Bets Off filly. That's been a good one for them. She's banked $240,000. Has emerged as a kind of a top older mare this year. She was second in the Juravinsky Memorial event at Flamborough and raced in the Forest City Pace as well recently.
Yeah, and she's the kind of mare that I think will probably eventually establish herself at the that mare's preferred level on a more consistent basis with a little more time, and she's made a nice transition into her 4-year-old season. There is no doubt about that.
There is a look at Aquinas Hanover, who we spoke about a few moments ago. And next door there is the 4 Harbor Light Jimmy. A McWicked colt here. Kyle Bossens looking to come right back with driver Trevor Henry. They clicked in the 9th, and they've got this one here from the good producing mare, Trust Me, Ashley. She has produced 5 winners of 6 figures or more. And this guy, again, a son of McWicked, who will occupy post 4. Next door neighbor to that one will be Bobby Bonebreaker, another one of the cool names here this morning. And this one, a homebred for Greg McNair.
Yeah, so keeping it right in the family here is Greg McNair, as this is a homebred for them, and a sports writer colt, the mare Hurricane Irene. She is a daughter of Better's Delight, and she has had 5 foals so far, just 1 winner to this point here. So we'll see what Bobby Bonebreaker can do as this one gets set to make its debut.
And a look there at number 6, Corporate Business. It's going to be Tyler Borth on board here. Now this one will be out for a 3rd time this morning. Has had 2 qualifiers, and last week took a nice step forward. Came home in 28-2, went a second faster than the first time out, and finished second, beaten just a nose on that occasion. So from an experience standpoint, maybe has a little edge over some of these today. This is another son of McWicked. McWicked, in the last couple of years has really established himself again as another staple, especially in the OSS program.
Yeah, and I look again at who did this horse race against last week. Well, Corporate Business finished second, got picked off of the wire by Time Passer, who qualified already today in 58-2, home in 27-3. Who was third to them? That was 5th and 5, who actually won the same qualifier from this morning that Time Passer was in 58-1, home in 27 and a piece. So it was within some good company was Corporate Business last week. We'll see what he has for a 3rd go.
7 starters scheduled to go behind the gate, and they are all there, taking up their positions. Looking forward to the 10th, as we are now just 3 races away from our finale here this morning. And again, Mark with the description of Qualifier 10.
Here is the field for the 10th qualifier. Number 1 is Aquinas Hanover, a Better's Delight gelding, trained by Claude Cadeau. The driver is Sylvain Filion. 2 is Blue Bar, all bets off colt, trained by Jody Cullen with Travis Cullen. 3 is Prince Hal Hanover, a Captain Treacherous colt, trained by Dr. Ian Moore, Bob McClure to drive. 4 is Harbor Light Jimmy, a McWicked colt, trained by Kyle Bossens, Trevor Henry at the controls. 5 is Bobby Bonebreaker, a sports writer colt, trained by Greg McNair. Doug McNair drives. 6 is Corporate Business, McWicked colt, trained by Rod Boyd. Tyler Borth in the sulky, and 7 is Groove and Will, a Roll with Joe colt trained by Blake McIntosh. Make the driver Jody Jameson. A field of 7 is lining up for qualifier number 10. Gate picking up speed. Here they come for the 10th qualifier. And the rough and pacing Corporate Business is leaving a well. Also, Bobby Bonebreaker down the center shows some early speed. And on the outside is Groove and Will. So the outside 3, no doubt about it, they are the quickest away, as rushing up is Groove and Will pointed to the lead. Corporate Business will get away in second, crossing over in front of Bobby Bonebreaker. Then we go back to Prince Hal Hanover in 4th. Bit of a gap then to Aquinas Hanover, who is racing in 5th. 6th into the first turn is Blue Bar. And then in 7th, that is going to be Harbor Light Jimmy. The opening quarter was 30-1, and that was courtesy of Corporate Business. As up on the lead is Corporate Business leading it. Back in second then is going to be Bobby Bonebreaker, as Groove and Will ends up back there in 3rd as things got settled out in the first turn. Racing in 4th is Prince Hal Hanover, and then we go back to the final 3. At the inside there is Aquinas Hanover. On that one's outside, Harbor Light Jimmy is trying to advance in that 2-path, and the trailer is Blue Bar. The half is hit here in 59 seconds flat, 28-4 in the second quarter, as Corporate Business. This is the 3rd qualifier for the McWicked colt, and this one is cruising right along on a lead of nearly 3 lengths. Bobby Bonebreaker is in 2nd, Groove and Will there in 3rd. Prince Hal Hanover trying to get closer to that rival in 4th. Then going back to the final trio as Aquinas Hanover at his wheel. That continues to be Harbor Light Jimmy, and then the trailer is Blue Bar, but Corporate Business leads by 4 at 3/4 in 1:27.4, 28.4 in the third split, our fastest 3/4 time this morning, and down the stretch comes Corporate Business. It's Corporate Business. Bobby Bonebreaker second, rushing up on the outside. Prince Hal Hanover in the debut will look to finish up strong, pacing a good final quarter, but they're still 5 lengths away as Corporate Business is going to take care of business here today in the 10th qualifier. Corporate Business and Tyler Borth down to the wire to win it by about 4 lengths. Prince Hal Hanover looking good into second. Bobby Bonebreaker third, and fourth was Groove and Will. 1:56.1 for Corporate Business.
Big step up in time for Corporate Business in qualifier number 3. 2:03.1 in the first effort a couple of weeks back. 2:02.1 last week. 6 seconds faster today. Right on the front end. Laid down the fastest splits we've seen in all of our baby races so far. And kicked home 28-2 nice and strong at the end of the mile. So this son of McWicked stamping himself as ready to go, no doubt, for OSS action. Coming up in the next week or two, Prince Hal Hanover rallied sharply. Good effort for that son of Captain Treacherous to pick up the place spot. And Bobby Bonebreaker, he attended the pace most of the way, and he held on for third. Just 2 more left to go this morning. Another group of trotters coming up next in qualifier 11.
Sealster, a name synonymous with quality. From their picturesque farm in Lucan, Ontario, Sealster Farms has been producing champions for decades. Stars like $650,000 winner Poseidon Sealster, millionaire mares Karma and Kendall Sealster, and 2-time O'Brien Award-winning Stockade Sealster. Sealster is also the home of many of Canada's top stallions, like Sunshine Beach, All Bets Off, and world champion superstar Bulldog Hanover, the sport's all-time fastest performer. Find your next champion at Sealster Farms. For more information, visit sealsterfarms.com.
So another one of those kind of head-turning efforts today from Corporate Business, and he certainly looked good in the first couple of weeks. That's a big jump up today, Mark, and one that we didn't necessarily expect to see.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming back for a third go, so again, maybe they had entered this one and there just wasn't a 2-year-old race to go just yet, as most were still making their debuts, but man, oh man, that's probably going to make the connections really happy to see you could drop that time and do it that way. So Corporate Business, one to keep an eye on going forward.
Here in qualifier number 11, we are back on the trot, and some familiar faces represented here. Muscle Mass has 3 offspring in this group. Archangel, represented by the Post 2 starter Pierre and Paris. Sprinkle in a Walner in there, 4's Lauren. We've got a Wheelin' and Dealin' in the 5 LMC Wagon Wheel, and a Father Patrick Wondrous Blue Chip number 6. Highest priced yearling of the field, a $205,000 purchase owned by Determination of Montreal Luke Blade Trains, and LPR scheduled to do the driving here. Muscle du Hurrah, the number 3 in the field, number 8 Muskie Man, both graduates of the London Classic sale last year for moderate prices, I would say. So it'd be interesting to see which ones here perhaps emerge this morning and see where they're at. Quite a variance in yearling prices, but at this point, that's water under the bridge.
Yeah, there are, and I mean, so obviously Wondrous Blue Chip catches your eye. $205,000 ticket, a son of Father Patrick. He was in the qualifiers the very first day. We had 2-year-old qualifiers back on June 1st, so they didn't come back last week, and if you look, he went a time in 2:07.1. The race went 2:02.2. He was well beaten, but I don't always read too much into the Luke Blade trainees on where they do finish in qualifiers. It's, they come here with their own game plan. They're not looking to wow anybody else, but stick to what they want to do. Now, the last quarter was 30-1, which isn't too bad, but I'm sure still they weren't looking to go 207-1. So a week off, we'll see what this one has in store for his second go.
The other muscle mass in this group is the homebred first-class rule bred by Glengate Farms. It's going to be Todd Ratchford driving for Matt Bax. This one is a sibling to Delgado. Delgado's a horse that kind of fluctuates between preferred ranks on other signature tracks, and like London in the wintertime, Grand River, and then here at Mohawk Park. Quality trotter. And I think a nice frame of reference for this son of muscle mass. We caught on track and looks really sharp here for Matt Bax. Had a chance to catch up with him just briefly in the intermission there, and happy with his results so far. But he said, yeah, mixed results. He says, we're still at the learning stage with a lot of them, and they're at different stages of development, and you can see it here today. In the variance and in effort, some won't even be concerned about being close to win times today. They're just looking to kind of go around and get some experience, and then the speed will come in the second or third time behind the gate, like we saw there in Qualifier 10.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep a close eye on first class rule to see how this one performs, obviously. But for me, you talk about Delgado. He took a mark of 57 as a 2-year-old. So again, I don't know if there's a whole lot you can read into that, but how these horses were able to perform right away is very intriguing to me. And this muscle mass colt will leave from the inside, as the back stable will hand the lines over to Todd Ratchford today.
One that we're getting a look at for the first time is that one, Chestnut Chewy, a Green Manalishi colt out of the Mr. Levesque mare, Hannah. Kevin Bodds trains, and it's going to be Tyler Jones in the driver's seat there today. There's a look at first class rule that we've talked about a few times. Todd Ratchford, who I believe works with the back stable, so gets a chance to sit up behind a lot of these, obviously in the training down process here in qualifying, and we see him sitting up behind more of these horses in racing action as well. So that familiarity and the experience behind them certainly goes a long way.
I definitely think it does. That's a nice advantage to have when you got somebody that's working on your team who's also doing a nice job driving them under the lights and can put them up at nighttime. I just want to go back to that Chestnut Chewy that you were talking about, the 7 with that Green Manalishi colt. 5 Green Manalishis have won so far in baby races this season here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. 4 of them are fillies, so I don't know if that's something you can read into yet, because the sample size is so little. Maybe the fillies are just a tad ahead, and you got to see how many colts he did have from that first crop, and it looks like, for the most part, I would say it's probably maybe 60-40 fillies, just obviously taking a quick peek at it, but the fillies have shown up. One colt does have a win, that being Darkness Cooks in 201-1, but we'll see what this one brings to the table as you get a look at them.
And a real blank slate at this time of year, and it's so fun to think ahead. Let's think ahead a couple of months to events like the Mohawk Million right here, and to look back and see if any of these emerge and race in events like that. Of course, the Wellwood, Breeders' Crown et al. And it's exciting, and that's the pot of gold right at the end of the rainbow. And we're blessed here at Mohawk Park here in 2024 to still have not one, not two, but 3 $1 million races here. It's one of the greatest stakes programs anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it's been a while since there's been $3 million races in Canadian harness racing in the same season. That's the case this year with the Mohawk Million and the Metro Pace, both to take place later on in September, and then, of course, the North America Cup tomorrow night. But I look at the journey you could have for a stakes-bound 2-year-old, whether it's a trotter or pacer. There's those late closing series, those summer series that they run through end of July and early August, the Dream Maker, the Pure Ivory, the Millard Farms, the When You Wish Upon a Star. That's the group of 4 there. So if you want, you can get as many as 3 starts in there before you work your way into the Grand Circuit, and not to mention, again, all those sire stake races that are available as well.
And we mentioned the sire stakes. They'll be kicking off in just a couple of weeks' time here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. We'll have gold events July 5th and 6th over that weekend. Colts and fillies will be taking part in that first event. We've got the 11th qualifying event getting set to go postward here. We are once again on the trot, and here's Mark with the play-by-play.
Qualifier number 11. We're going to scratch number 2, Pierre in Paris. I'll bring us down to a field of 7. From the inside out, number 1, First Class Rule. This is a muscle mass colt trained by Matt Bax. Todd Ratchford drives. 2 is out as mentioned, so we'll move on to number 3, Muscle du Hurrah, a muscle mass colt trained by Claude Cadeau. The driver Sylvain Filion. 4 is Forsworn, a Walner colt trained by Desiree Jones. The driver is Gino Toscani. 5 is LMC Wagon Wheel, a wheelin' and dealin' colt. Pat Houdon trains and drives. 6 is Wondrous Blue Chip, Father Patrick Gelding, trained by Luc Blais. The driver is Louis Waugh. 7 is Chestnut Chewy, Green Manalishi colt, trained by Kevin Bodds. The driver is Tyler Jones. And on the outside, number 8 is Muskie Man, a muscle mass colt. Kyle Bossons trains. Trevor Henry does the driving. Scratch down to a field of 7 for qualifier number 11. Our final look at the 2-year-old trotters here today. Our penultimate qualifier on this Friday from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Starting gate picking up speed, and here they come. Off stride is number 4, Forsworn. The others are off and trotting, and from the inside starting spot, First Class Rule is stepping forward to grab early command. Muscle du Hurrah will follow in behind. Good speed from the outside from Muskie Man to drop into the 3-hole. Then racing in fourth is LMC Wagon Wheel, and the breaker at the start. Check out Forsworn. This one's rushing on the outside. So as they hit the first turn, racing second from last is Wondrous Blue Chip. The trailer is Chestnut Chewy. Up front, it's First Class Rule. About to get some company, though. The opening quarter was 31-3, and here comes Forsworn on the outside. So Forsworn, after the miscue at the beginning, will make it all the way to the lead as they come into the backstretch. So less than 3/8 of the mile contested. New leader, that is Forsworn. First Class Rule will now sit in second, covered up there. In third is Muscle du Hurrah. Fourth is Muskie Man. 2 lengths back to LMC Wagon Wheel. That one's followed closely by Wondrous Blue Chip, and then a few lengths going back to Chestnut Chewy, who rounds things out. Forsworn on the lead by the half in 102-2. So it's Forsworn, this Walner colt. This is his third qualifier. He leads it by 2 lengths right now on the debuting First Class Rule, who's sticking right with that leader as they get some separation on the rest of them. Those 2 break away by about 6 lengths on their nearest rival, Muscle du Hurrah, who remains in third. 2 lengths to Muskie Man in fourth. Fifth is LMC Wagon Wheel. Then it's Wondrous Blue Chip in sixth, and seventh is Chestnut Chewy. So First Class Rule sitting right on the back right now of our leader Forsworn at 3/4 in 131-4. They went 29-2 in the third quarter, and as they come into the stretch, Forsworn leads it by a length. Here's First Class Rule firing the shot on the outside and went off stride. First Class Rule makes a break, so it's Forsworn still with the lead. LMC Wagon Wheel has now moved up into third from Muscle du Hurrah in fourth and Muskie Man in fifth. So Forsworn made a break at the start. Ultimately, though, is going to go on and win this one. Forsworn will take it by about 4.5 lengths. Second was LMC Wagon Wheel, off stride First Class Rule third, and then fourth was Muscle du Hurrah. 2:01-4 for Forsworn.
Very impressive recovery from Forsworn, who Mark said had the miscue prior to the start. Recovers. He's on the front by the time they reach the quarter pole, and then kicks home in 59-2 to hold his rivals at bay. The runner-up here, LMC Wagon Wheel. Nice late rally for this wheelin' and dealin' colt, who's trained and driven by Pat Houdon for Frank Cirillo of Kleinberg, and a big step forward for him. He was fifth a week ago, charted 2:05-2, second today in 2:01-4. First Class Rule. Just a little mistake when pulling the pocket in the home stretch. So he'll be back again next week, undoubtedly. 2:01-4. Forsworn, winner in qualifier number 11 on the trot. We'll have Pacers to wrap things up on this Friday morning when we return to Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Winback Farm of Canada is home to 9 exceptional stallions, including Beach Glass, the last great son of legendary sire of sires, Some Beach Somewhere. Also new in 2024, Lawless Shadow, an O'Brien Award winner for 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings. Double millionaire betting line, sire of 5 winners of over $400,000. Merrick Wicked, the richest pacing stallion in harness racing history and Hall of Fame inductee. Trixton, sire of 6 who have earned over $500,000, including O'Brien Award winner Evident Beauty. Also standing Archangel, Better Than Cheddar, Better's Delight, and My MVP. For more information, winbackfarm.com.
Reach the people you have to reach by advertising in Harness Racing Update, the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU provides the best bang for your advertising dollars because we reach and engage your potential customers anywhere in the world. Not only has HRU grown its subscriber base by nearly 30% in just 3 years, but our open and click rates far exceed industry averages, which tells us that readers are engaged with the digital publication and how they receive it. Plus, your ad support helps us keep HRU free to subscribers. Find out more today by visiting harnessracingupdate.com and clicking on the advertising link at the top of the page.
Welcoming everybody back here this morning to our live coverage on Cosa-Tv. It is the Rookie Showcase, and it's our finale today of 12 races. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage today, and wonderful to see the crowd on track here, checking out the action in person, but big following online today as well. We really appreciate everybody tuning in, and hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have enjoyed bringing it to you. Been some really impressive efforts here this morning, so we'll see what we have in store for our 12th and final coming up here. It's another group of Pacers, 2-year-old colt and gelding Pacers, and 7 scheduled to go postward. We'll pick them up now on the racetrack. Bruno, no. One that will be out for a second consecutive qualifier. The all bets off colt, 4th last week for trainer Gabby Sasso and driver Bob McLaurin. Mark, you mentioned earlier today, this is one that you really took notice of here in the paddock from a size standpoint.
Yeah, it just catches your eye right away. It's got some presence to him. We saw him last week qualify pretty well, coming home in 28-2, but watching him go just to warm up during one of the last breaks, I thought you can just get a look at the size on this guy, and we'll see what he can offer in his second go, an all bets off colt. As we'll see what this all bets off guy has to offer in his second outing. And in this group, I mean, we've got about more than half the field that's already qualified. Some of these qualifiers today, we pretty much had everybody making their debut. This time around, though, 4 of the 7 have already qualified at least once.
Limbo Dancers just exiting the paddock now. This son of McWicked will be out for a second qualifier. Finished 5th last week, charted in 2:02 and 3. Had the look to me of a race where they weren't concerned about the horses up in the first flight of horses that day. They were just kind of looking to go their own mile, I would say, and mission accomplished. He's one I would expect to take a step forward. And another one that caught our eye earlier today when going to warm up and is going out behind us now is the number 1 Tip of Time Shadow Play colt. Not a real big guy in terms of height, but he's compact and he's a bit of a tank. And it's interesting. We've seen Ian Moore unveil 4 6-figure yearling here this morning. This guy just a $10,000 purchase last year, if I can get that out, from Harrisburg. So a modest priced yearling, this son of Shadow Play. But the mare has produced. She's produced a couple already that have earned $150,000 plus.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at here as I pull up the pedigree page. I mean, Timeless Beauty herself, she's been a good producer. She's got 4 winners, 2 of them in 53 or better, including Stay Gold, who had a mark of 51 and a piece and over $300,000 earned. Rockin' Good Time, a 16-time winner. So maybe they haven't reached those Grand Circuit stakes levels, but they've been good racehorses that have racked up earnings and racked up victories throughout their racing careers. Now it's been the mares that have pretty much done all the work there for Timeless Beauty and racking up her stats on the broodmare side. So now we'll see if this colt, Tip of Time, can kind of follow the lead.
So while we have a moment prior to the last race going poster, want to again thank everybody for watching today and invite you to leave a comment. Let us know who the most impressive performer of the morning was in your opinion. And everyone that's commented over the last couple of weeks on our various platforms, you're going to be eligible for the prize giveaway. It's a London Classic yearling sale, quarter zip, long sleeve. Nice prize. Won't need it this weekend with the heat, but it'll come in handy later on this summer for sure. And again, we are very thankful to all of our sponsors who supported the coverage of Cosa-Tv. Of course, Cosa-Tv will be bringing you live event coverage all season long from some of the biggest events across Ontario. produced by award-winning Cujo Entertainment, who will once again this summer be producing the CBS coverage of the Hambletonian as well from the Meadowlands. So looking forward to that. There's a look at the upcoming Cosa-Tv schedule. Speaking of the Hambo, August 3rd, that event happens at the Meadowlands. Could be some future Hambo performers, Mark, that we've seen today. Time will tell.
Never know, right? That's obviously the big dreams, and I think you got to have those dreams. You want to be in this game.
And there's a look at the complete schedule throughout the fall with the Breeders' Crown happening at the Meadowlands this year in October, and the Christmas Drivers' Challenge at Western Fair Raceway. That's a great event, but way, way, way too early for us to be thinking about that, Mark. We've got a lot of beach days ahead of us this summer.
There you go. I think you might have one here this afternoon when we wrap things up. It doesn't get much better than this. A very hot day here in Campbellville.
All right, starting gate rolling for the finale, qualifier number 12, and we are on the pace to wrap things up.
All right, horses for the finale, qualifier number 12. We're going to put a bow on today's action here. Number 1, Tip of Times, a shadow play colt. Sylvan Filion does the driving for trainer Dr. Ian Moore. 2 is Limbo Dancer. Jeff Taylor trains this. Gelded Son of Mick Wicked. The driver is Louis Waugh. 3 is Bruno. No. An all bets off colt trained by Gabby Sasso. The driver is Bob McClure. 4 is Belmont Blazer, a big Jim colt trained by Jody Cullen. Travis Cullen drives. 5 is Grin and Win, a Believe in Bruiser colt trained by Heather Pickett. The driver is Tyler Moore. 6 is Power Code, a cattle wash colt trained by Carl Jamieson. Jody Jamieson drives. And 7 is Courts on Fire, a courtly choice colt Blake McIntosh trains. And doing the driving is Tyler Borth. So we're going to be scratched down to a field of 6 here. Take out number 5, Grin and Win. Horses are lining up for our 12th and final qualifier today. 2-year-old qualifiers will resume next Friday morning. Friday and Saturday on the schedule for the next 2-year-old qualifiers. So a week today and then tomorrow as well. All set for the 12th. Here they come. And they're off and pacing. Power Code shoots forward. So too does Courts on Fire. So they were next door neighbors on the gate, and they get away 1-2. Tip of Time paces ahead into 3rd as Bruno No will get in behind in 4th. Racing 5th will be Limbo Dancer, and then getting away at the back of the pack will be Belmont Blazer. Here's Power Code as this one is heading into the first turn with some powerful strides. He's on top by 3 lengths. 2nd is Courts on Fire, and 3rd is Tip of Time. The opening panel was paced in 29 and 4. So a good opening quarter here for Power Code as this son of Cattle Wash in his second go is on the lead, a loose leader by 3. 2nd is Courts on Fire, back to Tip of Time in 3rd. 2 lengths then to Bruno No, and then we go back to Limbo Dancer and Belmont Blazer. That's how they're situated, this group of 6, as they get to follow Power Code. And Power Code and Jody Jamieson, they hit the opening quarter in 29 and 4, and with a 2-length advantage, they're by the half in 59 and 1. So even quicker there in the second split, 29 and 2. And heading on to the far turn, it is Power Code. 2nd is Courts on Fire as that one continues to chase the leader. Then it's Tip of Time in 3rd. Bruno No on the outside now advancing as that one got its cue to go. Inside 5th is Limbo Dancer, and Belmont Blazer on the outside is going to make up some ground now. They're heading to 3/4. Power Code by 1.5 lengths, angling out from 2nd. Courts on Fire to get some clear room when they straighten out for home by 3/4 in 1:28 and 2, 29 and 1 there. It's still Power Code with the lead, and Power Code maybe going to ramp it back up as Power Code starts to kick clear. It's Courts on Fire in 2nd. Bruno No on the outside is 3rd. 4th is Tip of Time. 16th of a mile to go, and this is a good performance from Power Code. Power Code's going to win this one by about 3 lengths. 2nd was Courts on Fire. 3rd was Bruno No, and then finishing 4th was Tip of Time. 1:55 and 1. Quickest mile of the day. 26 and 4 home for Power Code.
Well, saving the best for last, or certainly the fastest for last. What a way to cap off the morning. It's the son of Cattle Wash, Power Code, getting it done here. Qualifier number 2 for Team Jamieson. Carl training and Jody in the driver's seat for the victory here. Kicking home in 26 and 4. And a 56-second final half. Kind of a head-turning performance, to say the least here. Courts on Fire finishing second, and in hindsight, a good second. Bruno, had plenty of enthusiasm in the final quarter as well in finishing third. But in a league of his own, Power Code with another one of those wow-type efforts here, and a great way to end off the morning session. 155-1, quickest of the 2-year-old qualifiers we have seen in Canada so far this season. Nice way to wrap things up, Mark. Great job once again calling the action over the last couple of weeks, and busy week for you certainly. So we have to be excited what we've seen today. If we were going to award kind of first star and on maybe the trot and the pace side, this guy I'm sure is going to be right up there for you.
Yeah, it's recency bias. I know we just saw it, but that was very impressive. Every quarter was faster. As he went 29-4, 29-2, 29-1 before kicking home in 26-4. Kind of felt like Jody played a little bit of possum there as everybody kind of started to make their bid at 3 quarters and at the head of the lane. This Cattle Wash son just kicked home powerfully to win. No pun intended. Power Code, I think I would give that first star to on the pacing side, although, you go back to a little earlier in the day and we had a 3 across finish on the pace. So there were some good performances. I think on the trot, though, Greg, we'd probably go back all the way to the beginning of the day. And I would call out the effort we saw by finishing first in that one. That's right, yeah. Yep. Century Legion. I thought that one was really impressive as well. And all around, some really good efforts.
For sure. We're in agreement on that one, too. I liked just the way that one won in the opener, so strong at the end. And I think Twin Be Courageous certainly, worth talking about as well. He was a 56 and change winner earlier, 26 and 4 final quarter speed. Did it effortlessly, I thought, as well. On the trotting side, the Hitman Hart, the time perspective, isn't the type that's going to immediately get people jumping up and down. But, he's got the pedigree that he's off on the right foot. He's probably going to get better and get better quickly in terms of the time department. And, plenty of other nice efforts here throughout the morning. As you said, it's a real impressive way to kick off the rookie season here in Ontario. We've enjoyed being with you over the last couple of weeks of coverage here from Woodbine Mohawk Park. And what a great way to set the stage for an amazing weekend straight ahead. Of course, tomorrow night, this is what these horses that we've been watching are ultimately looking to compete in races like we are going to see here tomorrow night. It is going to be something else.
Exactly, and those are the dreams, and they have to start somewhere, right? And I know they start for the breeders and then to the yearling sale, and then this is another milestone when you see these horses come out for their debuts as babies, or in the case of some, like we just saw from Power Code, their second go, and they drop even more time and show what they may have to offer going forward. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a big night tomorrow night here at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and just a fun summer all around as we've now got a new group of horses to track in this year's 2-year-old crop.
So if you can, make sure to come on out to the track tomorrow night. A wonderful event. So much happening, not to mention the world-class racing you're going to see on the racetrack, but it's going to be fun from start to finish here tomorrow evening. And again, if you can't join us tomorrow night, don't forget Woodbine Entertainment presents, and we'll have coverage live starting tomorrow night at 10 o'clock?
10 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook. Go to the WoodbineMohawkPark.com website. You can find the link to the stream right there. We're going to have a blast, Greg, doing that show tomorrow night as we get set for one of the most competitive North America Cups in recent memory.
The weather looks great. We are looking forward to it. Thanks again for joining us over the last couple of weekends. We look forward to seeing you again next time on Cosa-Tv.